The views and opinions of the Nissan Nation podcast are strictly that. They are views and opinions of Dave and Danny and its guests. They are not the views and opinions of Nissan Corporate Americas or otherwise, Japan, wherever. So now, a DRB and KGB media presentation, the Nissan Nation podcast. Hit it, Kelly.
Recorded live, coast to coast, it's the Nissan Nation podcast. From camping, racing, and all points in between. The NNP is your Nissan Nation podcast. Now start your engines and welcome in the hosts, David and Danny.
The Danny Show, where I touch you appropriately.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? That is right. This is the Danny Gruder Show, and he will touch you inappropriate. Live from Middle Tennessee, this is your Nissan Nation podcast. I'm your host, David Boyd, along with my co-host, Daniel the Groders over there. What's up, Danny?
Dude, I was just noticing in my little screen here that I'm looking at, because we look at each other when we're talking.
Clearly.
My wave is like killer now, dude.
It's
big. And it's flowing like the golden locks of Timbuktu.
You keep that up too much, you're going to look like you got a cauliflower on your head, bro.
Right? What up, Davey? I missed you, bro.
Dude,
I missed
man.
you last week.
I missed you too, man. Clearly I had to release a podcast without you. I missed you so much.
Hey, we would have had a really good time. I spent a lot of time with Joey. I spent a lot of time with Joey's girlfriend, Amy, Joey's mom, Annie, I guess you would say.
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
What's that?
Annie, are you okay?
She is okay. She is okay, Annie.
Okay.
And Carl and Brittany and Car Jeep, of course.
Dude, you had a classic lineup for GONEmoabs. What you were?
Dude, it was literally the same, like 90% of the same crew, minus Dave and Sean. Literally, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we had such a blast, dude. Just those are the main people I hung out with most of the time we were there, just because we were, our condos were close to each other. So it was a blast, and of course I drove up there with Car Jeep. So
well,
it was a fun time, man.
Clearly, and looked like Moab Marty made an entrance too.
Yeah, you know what? It's crazy because Marty showed up before I even showed up. So
it's crazy.
Yeah. It was a good time, man. We had all kinds of shenanigans and stuff.
Well, and for our listeners, we have a lot of the live part of the podcast coming up, but we wanted to. I got to talk to Danny really to recap his events, other than watching you on your YouTube channel, man. Like showing carnage and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and as much as I'd like to call it carnage, I wouldn't say it's carnage compared to some of the dudes out there. There's a lot of breaks. Some stuff probably could have been taken care of before people got out there. Some stuff is just you're on the trail and it happens. You're in Moab and there's rocks. And sometimes you slip off something and, nerf your truck up. And then, all my trail damage, I guess you would say, was all on stuff that's meant to be damaged. So,
wait. So you Nissan designed these to be damaged?
my bitchin' hefty Fabworks skid plates saved my truck from total destruction this last week. I went on some pretty gnarly trails, and the skid plates, they held up. I run aluminum skid plates and hefty Fabworks skid plates, and they're solid, dude. And they're a little bent up, but for what I did to them, you can't really ask for any more. Nothing that can't be pulled off, straightened out a little bit, and bolted back on.
Well, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah. So I was so stoked at everything my truck did while we were out there, and pumped that it got through everything. I conquered the golden sleepover, so I was pumped, dude. Which is funny because this Ghana had a lot of the same people from the last time, from the big golden sleepover gone.
Right.
And so
well, you didn't have PJ cool wasn't there, was he?
What's that?
PJ wasn't there, was he?
PJ wasn't. Well, some of the people that knew about it, that were actually there for it. You weren't there for it, so that was pretty upsetting. But Sonny was there, and just Carl and Car Jeep and stuff, that Joey, people that knew about it.
Well, it yeah, trust me, dude. I was drooling at all your pictures and stuff that you were posting, and I think I literally texted you about the time you rolled in. It was like, dude, what's going on? I got to know what's going on.
Yeah, and I feel you on that, because I showed up a day late and I missed the meet and greet, and just the meet and greet in and of itself, which is, amazing trucks being taken pictures of, and they're all lined up, and there's this huge group of people, and it's actually a really killer day to say, hey, to all the people that just rolled in, they haven't seen in over a year, or in basically a year, and re-meet up and say, hey, what's up, and catch up, and hand out stickers and all that fun stuff. So I did miss that portion, because I feel like it's hard to catch up and meet every single person that you met from the year before. I mean, it's pretty spread out, and basically you have 2 nights to do that, other than if you're on the same trail, you're good. If not, then if they're at the condo is good. If not, if they're camping, it's hard to find them and track them down and stuff like that. So,
well, it looked like you had one hell of an adventure to get there. So, what, you were in Iowa?
I was in Iowa for a family reunion. I drove, and the whole time I was in Iowa, there was all kinds of storms. There were some tornadoes that touched down, big rigs in the center dividers on the highways and stuff.
You don't know what those are like, right?
No, it's just seeing that. Like my wife was freaking losing her marbles, man. She's a trooper, but man, sometimes in those storms, she starts losing her marbles. So she had to trust in me, in my Nissan Versa, which stood the test of the hailstorm that we drove through. The rental Versa, a red rental Versa,
of course,
did amazing.
Do we call that the Micro Dragon?
Yeah, Dragon baby. So I left like extreme northwest corner of Iowa, drove 2.5 hours to the airport in Omaha, which is like the airport that I had to fly out of to get that flight. Mm-hmm. My whole family and I flew to Denver, got into Denver in the evening. I don't remember exactly what time. And my family ended up going and grabbing a hotel, because their flight back to California was early the next morning. And my flight, I was delayed 45 minutes, so I ended up flying into Las Vegas at midnight, where Dan Fonseca, Car Jeep, drove my truck from California, picked me up in Vegas at midnight, and we drove straight over to GONEmoab, which is it's a 10-hour drive, 9 to 10 hour drive.
It's still a heck of a drive.
Well, no, it's like an 8-hour drive, but 8 to 9 hours, somewhere in there. I don't even remember. I was asleep most of the time, to tell you the truth. Dan had a little bit more sleep during the day. I was burned out from traveling, so I got a couple hours of sleep in, and we rolled into Moab at about 9 a.m. on Monday morning. So it was, we actually stopped by one of the trail meetings, the trail that we were supposed to be on. I wasn't going to go on it because we had a truck full of bags and all kinds of stuff. I knew stuff would be flying out of the back of my truck. We were quite prepared for trails yet. So I stopped by and said hi to some of the guys that I knew, some of the trail leaders and stuff like that. Said hi and shook some hands and whatnot, and then went straight to the condos and just fell asleep for like 4 hours.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it looked like as soon as y'all woke up from your travels, like you had to go wash the truck real quick.
Yeah, we had to do our prep work. We had to unload all the junk out of the truck, that all kinds of masks and prank ideas and and that kind of tomfoolery. And then we went and washed the truck.
What was up with the Princess Award this year, man? I guess they retired that?
Yes and no. I don't know, man. Bill got the Princess Award again.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of. Because Bill is the princess. Like, you don't get the Princess Award when you are the princess. You can't. I think he bestows the Cinderella Award. It's still a little bit hazy in my mind, but and you know what? To tell you the truth, I can't remember for the life of me off the top of my head who won it. But the guy that won it was legit. He's got a really nice white Frontier.
Cool.
Gosh, it's killing me. Will? No. I'm totally blanking right now. But the dude was like a really nice white Frontier. He's got like some little some like Nissan stripes on it, and dude was like armor on his tires and washing his engine bay. And don't get me wrong, dude, I like wash the crap out of my truck every day, and drove it right up next to Bill's truck over at his condo, and like he didn't even have his wash by the time I drove over. So I was like, "Oh, bro, well, you gonna wash your truck?" So I was sticking it to Bill more as just like fun, you know. But the other guy he smoked me, dude.
Well, I mean,
hats off to him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you had a lot to go on. You know, you got a lot to do out there, and you can't be just 24/7 washing and waxing.
But I will say, I washed it. I brought back the condo, had a little spray wax, and I was wiping it down. And to tell you the truth, now that I've done that, it's actually way nicer because I'd like do like a quick, just simple wipe down of the interior, and it made for so much nicer of a truck at the end when when all the trails were running, I was done. It was time to drive home.
Right.
The truck was in so much nicer and cleaner shape, and then when I got home, everything was easier to clean. So in hindsight, in future sight, I might do that a little bit more in the future when I go on to Moab or whatever.
So just quick,
because it makes it more manageable, dude.
So just a quick rub down after you hit the trails, huh?
Yeah, that and like if you do a little spray wax on it like I did, it wasn't extreme. Maybe it took me 5 minutes after I got back to the condo, but it keeps the stuff from sticking and the bugs and whatnot. So
you guys kind of missed the meet and greet, right?
Yeah, unfortunately I did.
Well, it looked like they had a bunch of cool stuff out there. I seen that new base camp Titan they had. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, the base camp Titan. They had the NB from Turtleback Trailers, which was out there. They ended up breaking a drive shaft out on one of the trails. So they have a drive shaft kind of like the Frontier, where it's that aluminum thin wall drive shaft where it's great until you touch something and then it tacos. Which I got to get a new one because
Your diff already done?
It's scary driving with it. When you're out wheeling hard, that drive shaft is really a weak point, and unless you have like a nice steel drive shaft, it's just a ticking time bomb to
you're talking about from
taco it.
Transfer case up drive shaft? Or are you talking about CVs?
The main drive shaft. It's aluminum.
Okay.
It's huge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. So that's what Chris has an upgrade for that, right?
Yeah. He's making them, or he's getting them made, and I know a couple guys that have new ones. Carl actually nerfed up his metal one, which was surprising. He nailed it hard. Luckily he had another spare with him. So he was able to swap that in. It didn't like break or anything, but it, gave him a little vibration when he started driving the highway.
Where does Carl keep all these things? Because when I see him roll in, he's got surfboards and all kinds of stuff on top of his truck, man.
Well, he came out to SoCal after Moab for a week to visit some family because he lived down here for a long time. So he came down here to get a little surf in and hang out. So yeah, he was loaded up pretty good when he first went into Moab.
Well, Carl Muscles is I think you called him on that first Moab podcast.
Oh man, he's a beast, dude. He's even bigger than last time, dude. I think he eats like gorilla fat and wolf veg or something. I don't know what he eats. He's a beast, dude.
Oh my God.
Family program.
So the event, everything from a guy, over here in Tennessee could tell the event was huge and big turnout. Everybody was posting that they had an awesome time. What was your impression of the event this year, man?
Very well organized. I didn't see the initial meet and greet, but all the reports that I got, they had a really cool tech inspection, which I think caught some stuff. Said, hey, you guys need a CB or check this, and there were some people that legitimately had a couple little things that they needed to fix and they didn't realize it, which they caught, which I thought was a great idea. So from everything I heard, it went really well as far as the meet and greet was concerned. And from my experience with all the trails, the trail fixes, and the organization from when I got there all the way out was fantastic. It went really well.
Right.
They had the raffle at a hotel, in their conference room in the hotel. One of those big conference rooms.
Was it an hourly rate hotel?
No, it was not that one. I know you know that one, Dave, but it wasn't that one. No. And they served some really good food, had a great raffle, just so much stuff at the raffle. And yeah, it was a great time. It was really well executed. And, I'm sure Bill will be, I know Bill is going to be on for the next one. He's already posting, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to where it's going, and I'm happy that it's so well organized and doing well.
Well, good, man. Well, it sounds like you had a great time. I sadly was stuck over here until my buddy Kevin decided he wanted to adventure real quick. So, as the last podcast, I discussed that a little bit, but it was funny, you're doing your own thing, and then I find myself just in the middle of a racetrack somehow, and I'm like trying to live stream, and the first one known as Danny, like, hey man, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, that was crazy. I saw that, and I was driving, and I threw it up and gave Carjeep my phone, and he was like, "What's he doing at a racetrack?" It was pretty funny because we were literally in the middle of Carjeep putting on the Moab Marty mask and scaring people as they drove by, and we were laughing our freaking cheeks off, dude. The best part is Dan's laugh is literally Marty's laugh, like that. Yeah. Dan laughs like, and it's close enough to where I was in tears because I was like, how is that possible? So.
Well, speaking of cheeky, man, I heard you had a cheeky moment at Zach's Pizza. I heard.
What do you mean a cheeky moment?
Reports come to me today that your one-piece outfit was a little revealing.
My American honor suit. Yeah, man. You're gonna have to go to the deep interwebs to find pictures of that. Maybe not the deep interwebs, but yeah, man. I wore my American honor suit to commemorate America because I love America. I serve this great country.
What do they call those rompers?
I wear it loud and proud.
Yes, Dave. He was in a star-spangled romper.
It's not a romper. It's an American pride suit. I'm proud to be American, Dave.
You look very prideful from what I've seen of that, man. So yeah,
many a man took a picture with me.
I heard some of the waitresses were looking in awkwardness too.
I don't think it was awkwardness. I think it was in truth, it's a little bit small, and it does split the boys a little bit. So you got to kind of stretch it out and be careful of how you stand.
So did you, the Nissan representatives or whatever? I'm assuming they had somebody there. That's when you go up and say, "Hi, I'm Danny with the Nissan Nation podcast, and these are my boys."
You know what? I didn't. Here's my bulls. Hey, it's Danny. You want to see my bulls? I didn't see them there, unfortunately, but I did see most people. I saw Corey Sane from Insane Fab, chatted with him. I basically gave everybody a hug I possibly could while I was wearing the American Pride suit.
Well, I'm sure that was very, very welcome, man. But so all these fun adventures that you were having led you to, what was it, Wednesday night or Thursday night? You did a live podcast.
Wednesday, I want to say it's Wednesday night I did the live podcast, and a lot of stuff happened since Wednesday night. But I got a bunch of guys on Wednesday night, and I got the Duncan Mills, oh gosh, and I'm totally blanking right now. I'm so sorry, bro. The Duncan and what's his name?
I remember you telling me about the guys.
I'm gonna feel bad now because I like the kid. It's Duncan and his buddy, man. They're like each other's sidekicks, and it's ridiculous, dude. It's so awesome. It reminds me of back in the day when I had more energy. If you could imagine me with more energy, but imagine me with more energy, and it was like literally there's just two dudes, 19-year-olds, just friggin' ex-terrorists living the dream, man. And I got it all on tape. So I interviewed those two characters, and it was a blast.
I think that's a new segment we call.
I gotta go over and look for his name. I want to say Joel, but it's not Joel because Joel's not the guy.
So when you talk to him, is that a segment that you called milling around?
Because
for
I see what you did there, but no, that's not at all what I call it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was supposed to be on the show with you, and I guess what, just you get out there and you're having a good time, man. I guess time slipped.
Well, yeah, it was. So it was that night we had a barbecue at our condo for all the organizers. And
a little VIP action, huh?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a VIP. NISTEC wanted to say thank you to all the organizers. Let them kind of hang out a little bit and not play organizer just for a minute and enjoy, a little barbecue and stuff. So we did a little barbecue, and after that we were going to do the podcast. And I was actually planning on headed over to see Chema and a couple other characters over at some different condos, but there were so many guys at the condo I was at. I was like, you know what, we're just going to do this here. And so I just started podcasting from that barbecue. It was kind of late in the barbecue, and actually everybody was just heading out right as I started podcasting. So I didn't quite catch as many characters as I wanted to, but
it's either that or they see a microphone and they're like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I think that was part of it. Like the microphone scared everybody off.
Well, I can't imagine it scared Bill off.
Bill was, you know what? Bill ran his ass off the entire time we were out there. So he was 1 foot out the door when I set up, and so I wasn't able to snag Bill. It's not like he hasn't been on here before, and it's not like you haven't heard him talk.
Well, set us up the list of players there. I seen Car Jeep, Blueberry, right?
So I'm trying to think of who was actually on. I actually got Carl went to bed early that night, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And we got Brittany. We got Brittany on the podcast.
All right.
We got Duncan Mills and shoot, I'm dying because I can't remember freaking.
I seen an eagle on somebody's head.
Huh?
There was an eagle or something on somebody's head.
Yeah, Car Jeep was sporting the American eagle head. Duncan and Logan, dude. Yeah. Logan Turner. They're both. I think they're 18 and 19 or something along that line. They're both like they met. You'll hear all about it. I talked to them about how they got into. I kind of interviewed them. Duncan Mills he pulls parts and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I don't want to spoil it. You'll hear all about it, and we got tons and tons of audio from all my interviews while I was doing it. So.
Well, let's without further ado, let's me and Danny could sit here and talk all night, but let's get right to it and see what's going on in Moab, Utah with GONEmoab 2017.
What is going on, Nissan Nation? This is Danny from GONEmoab here on the Nissan Nation podcast. I am live. You may not be getting this live, I imagine, because of the madness that's going on with this show and GONEmoab. I'm recording here right now. We're at the condos. We've been hanging out, barbecuing. Lots of people here, and I am with the infamous Car Jeep. Unfortunately, Dave, he couldn't stay up late enough over there on the East Coast because he was over there just sleeping while we were over here having a blast. So he's probably pretty upset about that. But I have Car Jeep, the infamous Car Jeep, and many other extremely sweet and awesome people here at the condos. What's up, Car? How's it going, buddy?
So what is going on, Nissan Nation? I guess like just a little short recap. So I guess Dave's sleeping again.
Dave's sleeping.
So here I am. Just to be honest, I am a little nervous. I've never been co-host, and even though the mic time I've had, it still gets to me. So we'll see how many people we'll be able to get on today. A lot of people in Spanish, I say they got Gucci Gucci. But I don't know.
What are you talking
about? Gucci. You gotta make the fingers.
Not Spanish. That's American, and it's dirty. You're not supposed to say that.
Insane Fab offers a variety of off-road products for any type of enthusiast. With 15 years of fabrication in the world of NASCAR, Insane Fab products can hold up to your adventure. From roof racks, rock sliders, front and rear bumpers, to any custom work, Insane Fab is up for the challenge. When you don't have 10 months to wait for your off-road armor, search www.insanefab.com. Once again, that's insanefab.com.
So we proceeded. Well, Car Jeep was there. Car Jeep, why don't you tell them a little bit about the making of the poopy panties?
Well, after watching everybody get their hands dirty, they're like, "Hey, Jeep, it's your turn. It's your turn to make one." I'm like, "No, I'm good." And I do something different, and I just grabbed a giant blob of chocolate frosting, and I really made it look like into a turd.
These were the most disgusting chonies ever, and I mean, we were like sitting there licking our fingers and stuff because that's what you do when you make poopy panties. But the best part is, like, we were sitting there laughing, taking video. I mean, everybody's in tears. But then it kind of creeped us out because, like, a fly started buzzing around all the chonies, like it knew. You know what I'm saying? It had an idea that something was going on that it liked and wanted to be a part of it.
This is how real they looked. The flies were attracted.
Yeah, that's how good we did. We did a really, really good job. So, anyways, we fill all the pantalones, the tighty whities, with poo poo. Well, that's rude. Someone didn't silence their phone. No, so we fill the.
Everybody grabbed their phone. Four people just grabbed their cell phones and shut them off.
Called out. Don't worry, there's only thousands of people across the U.S. And Australia. No, the Australians heard that from around the world. So we got the pantaloons filled with frosting poo-poo, which, funny to note, is that the frosting, after like 3 hours, actually started to smell poop-like. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it was like something with like... It's psychological. It probably was. Because, I mean, after I ate like a good scoop of that stuff, I started like feeling it in my mouth. It was like getting grainy. So anyways, what we did is we took all these chonies.
Wait. So you're putting it on your hands and then you're putting it on the underwear and then it's like, well, your hands are a mess. So it's chocolate frosting. So we're licking our fingers and my mom and Amy are dying. I have tears. I'm laughing so hard. But then after the fly came by, then it was like, I was kind of like.
It weirded everybody out.
I was kind of like, this is wrong.
Yeah, it wasn't a pleasant experience after that. No. So anyways, we took all the chonies and we distributed them on differential covers throughout the evening. Just bestowing honor on different trucks. To commemorate their trip honoring friends to commemorate their GONEmoab trips. Luckily, we had a couple people, and you know what, Corey, can you come over and talk here? Car, can you? Or Joey's going to move. Corey, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience, because you got to get it from the other perspective where I believe it was Car Jeep just showing pictures to us of the actual panties. So Benjamin had a set on his rear differential cover. Why don't you tell us what was your take on that?
Oh my goodness, we all met out at the Chevron, north of town, I guess, and we're going to go run backwards bill for the day, and we're all sitting there and met up, and everybody gets in line. Okay, we're going to go pull across the street and hit the trail, and then all of a sudden he pulls out, and I pull behind him, and there's these dirty underwear hanging on the back of the differential cover. So you've got from the road up to the trailhead, you've got about 10-15 minute good drive and constant laughing the whole way. Yeah. On the CB laughing. Everybody's like, what is going on? I let it go for a little while, and then all of a sudden I was like, somebody has shitty underwear on their diff cover.
And I think that there were different versions of the underwear as well. There was the like, you know, there was the finger mark ones where you some skid marks and like just a little bleed out. There were ones with full packages of hanging loads in them. His was the one where it had a big heavy load at the bottom, so it was really hanging and swinging down as you drove, and it would swing back and forth pretty well, especially when the wind.
Man, I think he was so proud of them, he actually left them on there all day.
We followed him all day on Metal Masher, and
he still has them.
They're still on there. They've developed a hole after running over some rocks. They've developed a hole, but they're still hanging on. I mean, we made it all day on the trail. And while everybody was airing up, I'm like, you know, I'm going to get a closer look at these. There's flies around them and stuff. I'm like, I want to make sure they don't smell. Upon closer look, inspection,
there was a patch on these undies, and it was a Nissan Nation podcast patch. So I knew it was some kind of doing.
I don't know what you're talking about, Corey.
Team Blooters.
Team Blooters.
Team Blooters won.
Team Blooters
Team
wins.
Blooters won.
Team Boyd,
Yes.
0.
Yes.
Yeah, so Team Boyd, step it up.
Yeah.
Step it up.
Yeah, Team Boyd didn't even show this year, so they're thrown out of the game. So what else happened? You know what, Car Jeep, you had a little something happen to you while we're on the prank, while we're chatting about pranks. So your phone's been a little busy. What's going on?
Well, apparently, someone still wanted to play pranks on me since I didn't bring my pickup out here. Or as you say, pickup in Spanish, pickup.
Or a troca.
Una
For
troca.
truck, right? It's troca, yeah. Very
So I didn't
different.
bring out my truck this year. Unfortunately, it was a little broken. But someone still wanted to play pranks on me, and they put literally all across the United States different posts for 2 free cute goats.
Free goats.
And apparently, I brought these goats to the house, and my wife wasn't happy about them, so I had to get rid of them ASAP. And at the very bottom, it said "Habla Español." So I even had literally people that didn't know any English hitting me up, talking to me in Spanish that they wanted these goats.
Chivas.
O borreguitos, and they would hit me up telling me like, hey, I got 2 acres, they'd be really happy over here, or hey, you know, I run a pet what do you call it?
Pet rescue or no petting zoo?
The petting zoo, and
Looking for months.
yeah. So someone's like, I've been looking for months and I can't find any. Like, please hit me up back, and I'll take them off your hands. Some people were literally calling me cross states, like I'm willing to drive out there and get them. Anywho, I got tired of all these like random messages, voicemails, and eventually I had to turn this joke around because whenever I get, my phone would just blow up whenever I get signal on these trails, and I was just thinking in my head, like, who has my phone number that had, the chonies to do such a thing? And I was like, it's Cody Fletcher. So I started to say, hey, I'm out of state, I'm on vacation, please call my coworker, call my assistant, call my secretary. And there was all the phone number to Cody Fletcher. And so people were texting him, leaving voicemails, calling him. And I was telling the story, look, I'm out of town, I can't feed these goats. And eventually he took them off my hands temporarily, and they're at his mom's house, and he has a big couple acres, or his mom has a couple acres, and everybody's just blowing him up. So he's just literally just walked in as I'm telling this.
So Cody Fletcher, if you don't know, Cody Fletcher is a Colorado NORAD guy, kind of, and he's a prankmeister. He lended a hand last year in the in the. I don't know if you'd call it team. I guess it would be Team Boyd, since it was me that got pranked. He lent a hand in the swimming pool in my truck last year. So we've been gunning for him this year. The week is young. So, but now that he's here, I'd like to ask him. This won't air for a week, so nobody's going to know what the true answer is for at least a week. But did you post Craigslist posts about free goats and put Car Jeep's phone number on it? I want you to think about this real hard, because if you lie now, in a week, we're going to be pissed.
You know, Danny, I didn't. I didn't do it at all. Wasn't my idea, or else I would have claimed it.
So, are you happy about getting texts and phone calls about free goats?
I think it's hilarious.
We all think it's. Let's just be clear. Nobody I've talked to yet, and there's probably been 40, have thought, "Oh, that's mean," or "That's not a good idea." I think it's a general consensus that it's a fantastic idea. Now, let me ask you this question: do you know the individual that may or may not have posted these Craigslist posts?
I may or may not.
See, now you're not on the stand here. There's no legal repercussions for this. Are you willing to talk about this in any capacity?
Not at this moment. No comment.
Okay.
I take the fifth.
Plead the fifth. Yeah.
All right. So
It wasn't me.
Okay.
Can't
So
say that. It was not me.
let me ask you this: Do you have other plans for this weekend, or this week, I should say?
Well, you'll have to find out, Danny. Because I'm still not done.
That was sinister. And Cody's looking at me real weird right now. And nodding. Just so you know, I did get some goat calls as well.
Did you?
Apparently, I was sitting out in the backyard, and right in front of me, while I was talking to somebody else, Karjeep gave my phone number out to one of the to one of the goat callers while I was sitting next to him, and then I got two goat phone calls. So whoever it was that maybe listening to this, I have a good feeling that Cody knows or just blatantly lied to our face. So well, don't worry. In a week, when we find out on the Nissan Nation podcast who it was, we'll be upset or happy that it wasn't you. How's that for a political answer? So from my perspective, that morning that it happened, your phone just started blowing up all day. We were on a trail, and every time we got reception, because Karjeep's riding with me on this. Make it clear to you guys listening. Karjeep is riding with me this week. His truck's broken, so he co-piloted. We're homies this weekend, sleeping in the same bed, and just hanging out. He sits on the driver's seat. I steer. He does the pedals. We've been really killing the trails. Automatic locker. He presses the button and I steer the steering wheel, and sometimes he pulls the e-brake for me. So we've been having a good trail. Yeah, he toots the horn with his nose, and it's really fun. So he's the best co-driver ever. When we co-drive, we drive from one seat. You know what I'm saying? So it's an exciting. It just throws like a wrench. It's more exciting that way. You don't know what you're gonna get. So what I was getting at though is your phone basically went off all day long, and if you were to kind of put a number on how many people contacted you in the last 2 days about free goats. I never knew that goats were so exciting and popular, that people wanted goats this bad. What number would you put it on?
Easily, at least 30 text messages and 40 voicemails, along with other people that have called, either blocked or just called and not left the voicemail. But eventually, I just went down the list, and one by one, I've been sending them to Cody.
That's called a repranking, I believe, right? This prank it's grown legs now, and it's really whoever started it is basically prank master up till now. I think that's prank master because it's triple pranked now because you pranked him, you pranked me. I mean, you got the prankiest prank. If I say prank again, it's going to start sounding weird to myself and everybody else. But I mean, it's going to have to be pretty good if they're going to top it. I mean,
I think that if that many people text and call about free goats, if we give away free goats at the next GONEmoab, we could easily get another 100 people here.
Dude, where's Bill Irish? Bill, brainstorming.
One goat will be named Gone, and the other one will be named Moab.
GONEmoab, free goats.
Yeah.
Habla español. That was in the ad, by the way. So that's why we're
I
laughing.
thought we were giving away Bill. Billy the goat because his goat.
Oh, we'll trick them. We'll be like, free goat. And they show up. They're like, hey, look, it's Bill. You can have his goatee. And they'll be like, yuck. So, Amy, why don't you come over and sit down?
Yeah, come on, Amy. Come on, Amy.
Amy's coming over. This is Joey Parent's one and only. The blueberry of the highest order. Amy, how's your GONEmoab going?
It's going pretty good.
What is the highlight of your Moab so far?
The highlight of my Moab so far is watching Joey and his mom go off the fall today.
Can you describe what you saw in that situation?
I saw this big blue truck go over like a 6-foot drop and then slam into the ground and bounce, and his mom leave her imprint even more on the O'Shea handle.
This now has a perfect handprint of Joey's mom's hand on the O'Shea handle. And you know what? If I had known that was going to happen, I probably would have driven with you on that trail. That would have been exciting for me too. Awesome. Any other things stand out to you that has been pretty exciting this month? Joey, do you want to butt in on your?
We're doing it again Friday, so put your money where your mouth is and show up on Steelbender Friday.
All right. Well,
We're gonna do that again.
I was supposed to do it tomorrow, but that sounds very. Maybe I'll switch things around.
I'm leading it on Friday.
You're leading it on Friday? Oh, the Bluter leading party?
Yes.
It's going down. Oh, it's going down. Well, obviously, I have to be there. I wouldn't miss it for the world. So, exciting stuff in Moab. The pranks have been done pretty well. Bill Irish's truck got saran wrapped in multiple. I think when I went under there to go put a zip tie, there was 6 on there. And I was like, what am I even doing under here? Oh, dude, it's super late.
Let's talk about what happened to your truck.
You're going to have to get closer to me over here.
Let's talk about what happened to your truck.
Oh, yes. Well, you know what? It's funny that you mentioned it because one of the pranksters around here just walked in. Chris Hefty from Hefty Fabworks is here. Chris, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Brilliant conversationalist and voice of many different things. You can find him as the voice of the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. Do you want to do anything from that movie? Or
Sure.
Yeah? Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Grr.
That was brilliant. Brilliant. Oh my gosh. You heard it here, guys. That was the grr from the Beauty and the Beast. It's out in theaters right now. You should go see it and then just try and find that specific voice acting that he just did for you there. He's a voiceover actor for that. On his spare time, he is a fabricator of amazing bumpers. I'm running his bumper. But Chris, something happened to my truck the other day. I think it was 2 days ago. I was over smearing fake poo on Tidy Whities with some of my bestest friends of all time, and while I was over there, something happened to my truck. Do you want to talk about what you may have experienced in that evening?
Well, I only build bumpers.
What did I say you build?
I'm in complete denial
Of what?
of hooking a random Awuga horn to your vehicle.
Yes, yes. You did not hook an Awuga horn to my rear brake lights. I think is what it
was the rear brake lights.
Yeah,
That's correct.
You did not do that. Which I was walking back to the house and we were going to go hang. Obviously, we were out for a good night of poopy panties, tidy whitey poopy panty hanging situation, which is it's a classic good time. And I'm walking up to my truck and I press the unlock button and I hear, and I was like, what the F? So I did it again, and obviously it did it again. So I was crying, laughing, and then I did it a couple more times. And as I'm walking up to my truck, I walk around the corner, and there's Chris Hefty and Chris Meisner with their cell phones videotaping me walking around the corner, giggling like schoolgirls, because, well, it was pretty funny. So they tell me, they're like, hey, it's okay. It's only hooked to the left blinker. We're like, okay, we just won't have to go do the left blinker because we didn't want to spend the time to take it off. We were out, we wanted to put poopy panties on people's trucks. So then Car Jeep gets in the truck, puts it in reverse, steps on the brake pedal. Apparently, They got the wires mixed up, and mind you, this is like 11 o'clock at night, right? And apparently they hooked it up to the brake lights, so it just, and so we decided to take that off.
Again, I only build bumpers, so wiring.
You're not a wiring forte. Maybe we'll blame this one on. Did you see Chris Meisner out by my truck?
I plead the fifth.
This is not a law. This is not a court of law. Huh? Oh. The sins of the father. Or no, that doesn't work. So Amy just ratted out Chris Hefty's son, which is dirty in the beginning.
It was pretty smart.
Yeah. That is pretty smart.
Yeah, he's definitely a little chip off the block.
Yeah. No, that is true. Chris Hefty brought his son. How old's your son?
12.
Chris Hefty is bringing his child up in the most supreme fashion of perfect fatherhood, in my opinion. I can't see anything wrong that you've done this entire weekend. But I have daughters, so I can't really comment on that for what's that worth. So let's move on from the pranks. Can you tell us what has been your highlight of this week?
It's been fun. It's my first Gone. So it's been fun meeting everybody that I talk to on the phones all the time. It's been fun with the running the trails with some of the people, and you can't go wrong in Moab. It's fun.
Yeah. And what are you driving? I mean, you got something a little bit different than everybody else.
I do. I brought out my wife's Pathfinder, her 2010 Pathfinder. So completely unlocked and fully independent suspension, but armored to the hilt, and we're playing around and having fun with it.
What is going on, everybody? Let me talk to you a little bit about Lifestyle Off-Road. What is Lifestyle Off-Road? What do they do? Well, let me tell you, they make custom t-shirts, they make custom graphics, stickers, you name it. They also have their own line of clothing. I wear a lot of it, man. I personally like their designs and what they do, and how they support, the off-road community, and especially the Nissan community. So if you need something from custom stickers, I love you grandma, whatever you want to put on your car, maybe family reunion t-shirts, maybe t-shirts for your club or event, give them a shout over there at www.lifestyleoffroad.com or check them out on Facebook at Lifestyle Off-Road. Be sure to tell them the NNP sent you.
We're back at the condos here, and I believe I was asking you about how your Went's going.
Yeah, well, we're not at Went, so
I'm drinking. Let's start over. I believe I was asking you about how your Gone is going.
Gone is going good. It's a lot of fun. So lots of good people.
We were just talking about. I just remembered.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to cut you off. We were talking about your Pathfinder that you brought out here.
I brought out a 2010 R51 Pathfinder.
Bumpers, Nistec lift.
Bumpers, sliders, skids, full armor package from a great company called Hefty Fabworks.
Solid. And what kind of lift is on it?
It's the Toytech.
Shane, what?
Yeah, it's a random.
Hold on, I gotta edit this.
It's a random Nistec.
Nistec. Okay, that's what I thought.
Nistec.
Gonna edit that. No, shameless plug. So everything's going good. You ran trifecta with Chris.
I did.
And myself and Hal.
Yep.
You've been up that trail before, yeah?
I have been up that trail multiple times.
You are not new to you're not new to Moab, right?
Correct.
Have you driven a truck on a lot of the trails here?
I have driven a truck on a lot of the trails here, but not all of the trails here.
And what kind of truck is that?
Which one? Which time?
Well, you said you drove a truck.
I've driven multiple trucks on multiple vehicles.
What kind of truck was that?
Well, I started off in a 93 Bronco.
All right, that was great. Great talk. You know what? Back to the Nissan Nation podcast. That's what you call setting them up, knocking them out the park, folks. Gonna get a slow clap for myself. That's a water bottle. Okay, I'm sorry. That was rude of me. That was rude of me. How was trifecta for you? I mean, you were a passenger on it.
I was a passenger. It's the first time riding as a passenger, actually.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Were you pretty confident in Chris's ability to get through stuff?
Yeah, I think I slept through half of it.
The boy was with us, right? The boy had fun.
Yep, Ryan was in the back seat.
Yeah, I
bouncing
can
around,
imagine it
having
was
fun.
enjoyable for him, right?
Yep, he was having fun, so it was good getting out, spotting where we needed to, and made it through. It was a good run. It's a fast run, and no damage, no breakage. So
yeah, there was 3 of us, so that was pretty cool to get us through and done. It was almost like a free little day for us. What did you do today? You guys went out and did a little helping, and
we slept in. Slept in
after the sleeping, it seems nice to me.
It was nice. We went to get breakfast and then got a bunch of ice cream and decided we'd meet up with the guys on Fins and Things and hand out ice cream. And on the way up there, we found out that they had already broken down, so we ran for parts and became the rescue mission.
Yeah, a lot of broken parts this year. Chema broke both drive shafts. What else was there? I know some of the big guys broke. There was a transfer case problem.
A few ring and pinions.
Yeah, ring and pinions. That's right. Gary Zimmerman has had brake issues nonstop. But due to the highly skilled wrenching skills of Niztec and their premium mechanic, Chris Meisner, he's all fixed up. You know of any other brakes that we experienced?
Airbag deployments.
Airbag. Gary Zimmerman had his airbags blow out. So now he's part of my club, the Airbag Deployment Nissan Club. And Cody Fletcher, what happened to your brakes? Cody's speaking to me in sign language and whispers from across the room.
I busted a rear shock.
Oh, that's right. Cody busted a rear shock, so now he's bouncy ass.
CV and kind of...
A CV, too.
Yeah,
all right.
CV cable.
Oh.
Wow. Justin Hughes' rig caught on fire.
Justin Hughes' rig caught on fire?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, when did that happen?
Yeah, we pulled them out today.
What caught on fire? This is breaking news, folks. Beep, 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 beep. Fat Bob's Garage, Justin Yu.
Yeah, me and Amber
Amber Underhill, would you say? Amber's out this year. I haven't even run into her yet.
Jeep. I didn't.
A silver Jeep.
No,
we don't talk
Jeep.
about those. We're not going to talk about Jeeps on the Nissan Nation.
A white vehicle that also blamed Amber.
All right.
We all pulled them out this afternoon.
All right. I'm reading a text. Fire right above cylinder 2. I caught it in time before it went up in flames. Fire extinguisher is a must. That was a text that was received by Joey Parent today. Wild stuff here at GONEmoab. Only experienced here the fire of 2017. Basically killed half of GONEmoab. Luckily, it didn't. So with that, Chris Hefty, I'm going to move on to the next person because as exciting as the Beast voiceover stuff that you're doing, we'll get into that on another podcast. We have some other stuff to do. Can we get one more? Can we get one more voiceover from Beauty and the Beast, please?
Grr.
That was beautiful. Thank you. That was amazing. Chris Hefty, everybody. Who do we have up next, sir? The Gone Overland guys literally just rolled in. They've been sleeping with each other in tents for the last how many nights has it been?
2 nights.
2 nights. And where did you guys come in on?
Where we start?
Yeah.
Started at Elephant Hill.
Elephant Hill. And then what was your route?
The plan was supposed to Elephant Hill up into the confluence up, return back through Elephant Hill, up the stops or the step ups, and go into Lake Indian Creek, Hamburger Campground, camp there, then head north on Lockhart Basin. What actually happened is something completely different.
Lockhart. I believe I did Lockhart last year.
Yeah, we didn't get to run Lockhart, and I'm a little sensitive about that. It was something I wanted to hit for a long time.
It's a pretty bitchin' trail for part of it. So that was you said that was your plan.
That was the plan.
And let me just say that Will, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure I didn't get it wrong. Will has a map in front of him, and I'm guessing at this point you're double checking to make sure that you knew where you went, where you were.
At the time, I knew where I was.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a theme for the Gone Overland.
It was more of like field expedient rerouting.
Nice.
We after that we went south into Beef Basin, which worked out perfect. I mean, the trails were phenomenal. Nothing super technical.
Can I cut in? I want to see that I believe Joey Parent's favorite place on earth is Beef Basin. He met a guy there, and they just hit it off. Anyways, let's get back to your trail.
So we went down Beef Basin. Got late in the day. We ended up hitting up. I think it was, what was the name of that hill climb, Dustin?
Bobby's Hole.
Bobby's Hole. We stopped at Bobby's Hole. Yeah, Bobby's
Hole. So you went from Beef Basin to Bobby's Hole, you say.
Well, that's a natural progression, by the way.
Well, yeah.
There was a I Know Blueberry sticker there. It was the weirdest thing.
It was strange.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's his favorite area.
We'll probably put it there. I've never been
Bobby's Hole?
I've
never been to Bobby's Hole.
This is the first I'm hearing of either of these places. All I know is Will took a whole bunch of guys there.
And my girlfriend. Nice
Someone's
try.
gotta hold the camera.
Well played.
That was good. Just in case that didn't get recorded, Joey said someone had to hold the camera. Just wanted to make sure that was completely clear in this podcast. Anyhow.
So we ended up getting up to Bobby's Hole. At the time, we were very tired. It was a long day. We started early. We decided to walk the hill to see what we were looking at. And after walking it, it was pretty intimidating for how tired we were. So we found camp and just camped in this absolutely perfect spot. It was between like a bluff wall and then like a smaller island, if you will. And we camped there for the night. They had a perfect fire pit with petroglyphs on the wall right next to the fire pit that we didn't even see until the fire was lit, which was awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we left early the next morning and headed out, and we ended up running south all the way up into Butler Wash area, up into the Monte La Salle National Forest. Mm-hmm. It turned out better. I mean, it's one of those things where it's when the plans just go south and the better things happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It turns into more of an adventure,
right? Absolutely.
Right?
The elevation gain that we got was 3,000 or 4,000 feet. So almost got run off of the road by a road grader. It was phenomenal.
Was it cold? I mean, when you got up in the La Salle area, or
no, it was a little chilly, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, almost all the wind and colder temperatures we got were last night, and the wind was today. Over at like this part of Dome Plateau, we were running a little section of that, and it was really windy over there, but a little chilly last night.
Nice. So how many people were in your group?
Day one, we had eight trucks,
8 rigs,
8 trucks, 11 people. Yeah. People were smart and brought their spouse, and 2 took off. They had other obligations they had to take care of. And we ended up running 6 rigs today.
Xterra Performance has your Nissan covered for any off-road adventures. With aftermarket brands like ARB, CVT Tents, Warren, Heps Designs, Insane Fab, White Knuckle Sliders, and so many more. When you're ready to take your truck or SUV to the next level, search www.xterraperformance.com for the best deals around. Remember, that's xterraperformance.com.
So, how long was the actual trip altogether?
Altogether was 460 or so miles. Wow. I didn't reset my odometer. I think Dustin had the total amount. But I mean, it made for long days. It did. But we stopped each day. Like we would go check out, the abandoned mining sites. Like today.
Gotcha. So you took your time a little bit and enjoyed the scenery. It wasn't just hammer down.
No, it wasn't high speed, 50, 60 mile an hour running through. I mean, we had a little bit of carnage. Nothing outstanding. Nothing too incredible. I had broken shocks and a little bit of body rub.
But totally prepared. Everybody on the trail or everybody that came with you, pretty prepared.
Some of us were over prepared.
Yeah, well,
which is part of the problem when you take too much stuff.
Yeah, that's true. You start getting heavy and stuff.
Well, I mean, you do it enough though, you start learning what you need, and what you don't.
Absolutely.
That's kind of half the battle.
Yeah. So what would you say was your favorite thing about the trip? I mean, was it the night with the petroglyphs? I mean, was there some kind of cool obstacles you got through, or was it? What was probably the favorite thing?
The people.
The people.
I mean, I had known a few like Dustin and Mario. I knew of them just talking with them, planning the trip. But if they fell out of a tree in front of me, I wouldn't know who they were.
Yeah, for sure.
They were people that basically we were all strangers to each other, and we came in. It was instant click. We all got along and had no issues, no aggravation anywhere, and it was phenomenal. You can run the best trip. I have done a lot of this overland style travel between all the East Coast from where I'm from and a little bit out here. If you have the right people with you, worst trip, the shittiest conditions, everything going wrong, it's still amazing. But you can have a trip where everything goes right, and if you have people that are just mean-spirited or just you don't want to be around, you're miserable. You're absolutely miserable.
No, I agree. And in truth, and that's my experience is you go. I mean, even just coming to Moab like this, and you spend a day with a group of people, and let's say you're right behind somebody, and you spend the day going over obstacles, going through stuff. You get to know somebody, and you chat with them, and you start to get to know somebody, and I can only imagine how much more that happens. I know some of the guys that I took on the short overland trip that we did last year. It's just an overnight basically. But all those guys that I went with, I got to know really well because sitting around a campfire, rehashing a full day's worth of stuff, finding out where they work, what they do, realizing that you all obviously have something in common to start with. So there's that, and I think that's the best part about going out and doing these things is it's the people, right? Like, the scenery is the best.
The scenery is everything, but like they say, the big thing about overlanding is not where you're going to get; it's what happens in between. Yeah. You have your destination. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. As long as nobody gets hurt, that's not really a big deal. It's all the stuff that just happened. Every sequence of events, just worked out perfectly. And
awesome.
It rolled into just an incredible trip, and I really can't say anything bad about what we saw, but the people made it absolutely perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to go with.
And so let's say it again. So you left Monday morning, right?
We left Monday morning. Drove down the 70 or so miles to Elephant Hill. Elephant Hill, we ran that down the switchbacks through the pocket, and we got out to like Devil's Lane area, and we came to the decision where some people had some concerns about running back up. And time-wise, said, okay, I'll agree with it. I would rather have more people happier running something they're more comfortable with than putting themselves out in a position where they're not comfortable. And we ran south into Beef Basin, up into Manta La Salle, and back down to like Blanding and up north. And it was perfect. I mean,
nice.
You went from just like the Platte all the way up into the high pine forest and up there. I mean, we didn't get as high as there was being any snow, which was awesome. That happened last year, but
cool.
We did miss Lockhart Basin. Still a little sour about that, but nothing against anybody else. It was one of those bucket list trails for me.
Yeah,
but
the entrance to that trail is hard, but the rest of the trail is beautiful. It's a long trail, though.
I can't really say that I'm sour about it. It was more of I made the decision because I didn't want to lose a ton of time.
Yeah.
We still had a finite, time period we had to get this done in.
Yeah.
And it was what would be best for everybody.
Yeah.
So we bypassed it. We still had a lot of fun going up Long Canyon up into Pucker Pass. That was a really good gatekeeper, if you will, to get through there.
Sweet.
And then our campsite. I mean, I've been to this camp spot before. I found it last year. I would rather have somebody who's new to that place explain it. But so I'd rather have Dustin talk about it.
Dustin, tell me about the camp spot. All right, so you were on the trip.
Yeah.
And what were your expectations first off? Did you have any, or were you just like stepping in, like whatever happens? Let's just go have some fun.
Well, so at this point, I realized that we had kind of gone off the GPX file.
Mm-hmm.
We were off our normal route that we had planned over the past couple months, leading up to the trip.
Right.
But I decided to leave, Will to improvise, which he did a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't have asked for a better route. We still minimal highway. The only time we touched tires to pavement was if we absolutely had to connect from trail to trail,
right?
Which was fantastic. That's kind of what everyone was going into hoping for. So it just seemed like one thing after another would happen. We went up this gatekeeper going up to Long Canyon Road?
It was, Long Canyon Peak.
Yeah, Long Canyon Peak. Really got washed out by the rains. Took us a couple hours to actually get through. Had a little body damage on one of the guys' Pathfinders. So we could finally make it up to the top of this gatekeeper, and Will says, "Oh, campsite's just right up here. This is where we're going to camp." Well, it turns out that the Forest Service came in and posted up a bunch of no camping signs.
Oh,
so right off the bat, now we got to change again.
Yeah,
so once again, we're off and we're on the run.
Start improvising, right?
And, at this point, it's starting to get late. It's about 6:30, 7. We've been on the trail for about 11 hours at this point.
Right.
And we head on out, and Will, I don't know where he pulled it from. I know he'd been in the region before, but he had this idea to take us this absolutely epic campsite. Never seen anything like it. It was all flat, hard stone, like nestled right up against the edge of a canyon. And you literally look right over a canyon, that goes on for days. Like, the typical Moab, Utah scene with multiple canyons off in the distance and mountain ranges even further with snow caps. You couldn't ask for a better campsite. There's plenty of room. Everyone could spread out, set up their own, get their own campsite set up and everything. And
sweet.
But yeah, it was absolutely fantastic.
Cool. And then so as far as like obstacles and stuff, I mean, did you guys run into some good stuff? Even though you didn't go back up the Elephant Hill area. I mean, did you run into some obstacles where you were getting a lot of spotting and moving? I mean, you obviously are all loaded up real heavy. I mean, everybody's heavy when they're overlanding, right? Like
yeah.
Depending on how hard you overland or how light you overland, it's everybody's choice. But I know for me, I go light and I'm still heavy. Compared to like the GONEmoab guys, I throw a spare tire, a couple spare parts, and a small tool case in the back. Whereas overland, you have tents and food and firewood and refrigerators, water,
all your clothing,
extra gas. You got everything, plus probably passengers and stuff. So, did you really feel that when you were out there? I mean, did you have to really work at getting through stuff due to that?
Yeah, me personally, I just recently switched rigs because I am going more towards overland. I sold my Xterra. I went into a Nissan Land Cruiser, and this was the first trip I took in my Nissan Land Cruiser.
Right.
And stock, that vehicle weighs about 5,800 pounds.
Right.
About a ton heavier than your typical Xterra. Throw the gear, the armor, everything. I'm sitting about 7,200 pounds. That definitely took a little bit of getting used to. As far as obstacles go, we did have some challenges. Chad, one of the group members, was unlocked front and rear.
Mm-hmm.
So open diffs.
Just a lot of work doing stuff.
I had to kind of guide him through some stuff, really do some careful spotting, make sure he didn't break anything. But a lot of that was the thing with the group is no one was in a hurry. And it comes back to what Will said is nobody cared if you took your time to get through an obstacle.
Cool.
Nobody cared if it took a little bit longer than expected.
Not
a single complaint, honestly.
Sweet.
And that's a lot of times that's unheard of in a group. You get people pacing around, grumbling.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have any of that.
The only person that was pacing was me.
Yeah.
Just concerned that everybody
wasn't
enjoying themselves and weren't enjoying the route, or that I was dragging them through this hellish
Heavy
ordeal.
is the head that wears a crown, sir.
Very
Heavy is the head. Well, sweet. I'm stoked you guys got back good. You know what? I'm not a planner, so I like going out on a trip where I kind of know where I'm going, and I just freaking go, and I have enough stuff to make sure that I have fun. And so many people hate that about me, but I like it about me, and I have a lot of fun doing it. So I'm happy you guys were able to smartly improvise and go out and kill it and have a fun time. Stoked that you got back safe. Everybody's cool.
Yeah,
makes me want to go next year.
Yeah, I mean it makes me want to go next year. I'm sure there'll be more to come.
The old Aztec trailer.
Yeah, exactly. Gary Zimmerman's got the old
fix that baby up, Kevlar it, and get it ready for next year.
Running Elephant Hill probably won't be the greatest idea with a trailer, but it could be doable.
Yeah. Well, sweet.
Put enough car in front of it.
This is probably a stupid question. Have you thought about what the future holds for? I mean, you guys kind of coined this GONEoverland.
Yeah. Well, that's Bill. I mean, I kind of just.
Well, yeah. Bill coined it.
Yeah,
Bill pulled us into it.
I'm kind of just more of the. yeah, sure, I'll do this and I'll plan it. And it's because it's something that it's what I guess you could say it excites me about the overland travel. It's the time involved in planning it and then actually going out and running it and see what's going to work. And obviously it didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, I had, no lie, probably 70 hours of research into our route.
Right.
And it took 4.5 hours to throw that plan right out the window and then just go for it. But I mean, I also, again, part of that 70, 75 hours was planning in alternate ideas. Well, if I look at this,
you look at the area and you're familiar. You know, when you do that much planning, you get real familiar with the area, and you know exactly if this isn't going to work. I know that there's a trail over here, and etc. Right?
And that's all that happened was I pulled out the paper map instead of using the iPad, looked at it real quick, and said, "Yeah, okay, we're ready to go. We can roll." Yeah,
that's cool, and that's a big deal when improvising like that. I mean, it's instead of a wild shot in the dark, it's a solid guesstimate, and just kind of and that can make or break a trip. I mean, if you have a GPX track and you don't know, that's all you have to go on. Yeah, you're blindly following something. When something goes wrong,
you know what? I have
go real wrong.
Done that. When I first started doing this stuff, we were doing it up in northern Maine, following it blindly, and it was at the time the trip went so terrible. I blew my rear diff. And it was just miserable.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, trying to drive back 9 hours with a blown diff back to your place to avoid a tow is not fun. But it turned into an incredible trip, and what kept me into this. Hook, line, and sinker right there. But,
awesome.
And I think for the future, we got talking with Bill and some other plans that we got. I think the future we're looking at possibly extending it out to the full 5 days.
Yeah.
The 3-day was kind of a feeler. It was to see, for one, if anyone would be interested at all in doing it. Turned out to be a hit. We actually had people that weren't originally planning to go with us come with us, and so
we added on another guy.
We added on another guy. The last day met up with us.
This morning he met up with us.
Yeah. Gotcha. So I think obviously there's a draw to it. We're looking at. Gone Overland, I know is
separate event.
Going to be a separate event eventually.
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of say, it for me, like I spend a lot of time going overland with my kids. My big thing is every year in November I do a big 500 or 400 mile Death Valley trip through Death Valley. And amazing trip. It's basically the best thing I've done with me and my daughter in my life. But what I would like to see is something when school gets out. A Gone Overland that is somewhere other than not other than Moab, but something separate from Gone. So people can say, "Oh, I went to Gone," and then something that you can do that.
I'd be interested in that.
I mean, I tell you, in 5 years, I'd like to see. It's Gone Overland isn't just the overland route portion of GONEmoab. It's an event in. This month, there's an event in California. This month, there's something in Colorado.
Exactly.
There's something there's on the East Coast. They have nothing north, east, south,
I think that would be
just
cool.
basically something that's the way I put it. Justin and I had pretty much this exact conversation earlier today. There's something out there called the roaming rally. Every year, it takes in a different place, different people plan it.
Yeah.
It would be something similar, but same event, somewhat same people, all running around all different places.
Very cool.
And just do see.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't want. There's no point in pigeonholing yourself. You don't need to turn this into some kind of corporate anything. Gone Overland is basically happening right now without the name. You have so many clubs doing it, but it'd be cool to get a little bit more, just a little bit more coverage of it. What are people doing? Where are they going?
There's actually, a group in South Texas that runs the whole length of Padre Island all the way up around the coast. It takes 4 days.
Really?
To do.
Cool. Yeah.
So one of the appeals to this event, as far as the overland aspect, is it allows people to go out and do something that they may not feel comfortable doing on their own.
Yeah.
For example, we had an older couple come out with us, and they'd been wanting to do something with, such as the Gone Overland event. But they didn't have anyone to do it with, and that's a safety issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you can't find someone to do it, you sign up for this event, and now
organization, right?
Now you got 10 other rigs, and
and experience is huge in overlanding. I mean, anything, right? But especially, if you're going out and you're going to go out a ways out of away from civilization, there's a lot of things that can go wrong.
Correct.
And so, it does help people that aren't used to it or ready for it to know what to expect and know what to pack or what to bring, and gives them some of that structure and introduces them so that, maybe some point they could go out and do it themselves. So that's awesome, guys. I'm stoked that you guys showed up right when we were podcasting so we could get the lowdown
Wasn't planned, that's for sure.
straight from you guys. Thanks for being on. We're gonna wrap that up with you guys.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate for having us on.
NizTech Lifts. At NizTech Lifts, we really know the Nissan truck lift kits. We are the experts for your Nissan lift kit parts, shocks, and accessories, and more. Got questions or want to talk with the staff of experts? Give us a call and we will help make your Nissan truck or exterior look awesome. Check us out at www.niztechlifts.com and tell them the Nissan Nation podcast sent you.
He's going to wait to get winter.
Duncan Mills, Logan Turner. You're here.
We are here. I made it.
We are present.
Right now we're staring at a computer, and there's a little line that's going up and down, and it makes people freak out. I want to tell you that Car Jeep is in the background making a gesture that reminds me of something I do when I'm very lonely. I don't know. It's not an appropriate gesture for the backside of the podcast. Thank you very much. The backside of the recording of the podcast. So I'd appreciate it if you cut it out. Though it wouldn't be a GONEmoab podcast if Car Jeep wasn't doing something inappropriate in the general vicinity of the podcast.
I mean, the way he was just touching me made my foot like hit the floor. Like when you pet that dog in that nice spot and his leg just goes crazy.
Car Jeep likes to walk around and give people back rubs. Sometimes they hit that spot, and apparently Car Jeep knows Joey's spot to the max. Joey just started kicking hard. And Car Jeep was getting it. Duncan, what's up, dude?
Nothing much, man.
What do you got going tonight?
Nothing much. We're just chilling. We thought I'd come over here for the podcast. It's my first podcast I've been on, so figured I'd.
Same here.
What did you do yesterday?
We were on
Strike Ravine. Yeah, that was a blast. I love the red sections. The travel on my Titan Swap did great.
Sweet.
Open diffs got me through.
Yeah.
Was that like a stick?
That was a stick.
He's stick. Yeah.
So are you saying
I am stick. I'm manual, but that was also a stick
manual
to what
open
he
diffs,
said.
saying basically you said I'm kind of a badass because I have manual open diffs and I don't need lockers, so you can suck it.
I don't need lockers or Titan Swap.
He had the same setup as I did recently before I Titan swapped. He has 315s and kind of a poor man's lift. He has the Nistec MK84s and
that's not a poor man's lift.
Well, it's slightly above that. It's slightly above that.
It's way far above that.
It's way far above that.
It rides nice.
Poor man's lift is
about $100
two sets
on
of
eBay.
Spacers stacked on top of Pro 4X coils.
Oh no, I was running
my first
stock
lift.
S coils with spacers. I don't know how.
That's a poor man's lift.
No, it was
when
bad.
I did my lift. I did
Spacers that you bought from some shady character on Craigslist. That's a poor man's lift.
No, that was the previous owner.
Yeah,
that was
eBay.
the previous owner of the truck. I don't know where he got them.
So you guys both have second gens?
Yes.
Right. Duncan, you have lockers.
Locker in the back. Yep.
Okay. So is it an off-road locker or A or B?
It's a e-locker.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I have a 2006 Xterra that I pulled from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I believe they're Eaton e-lockers, to my knowledge.
Yeah. And what do you got? Logan?
2006 on 315s with a with 1.5 inch shackles in the back and MK84s up front.
And I got to ask you both your age, please.
18.
19.
I freaking love it, dude. I'm not going to lie. I do see a little bit of myself in you characters. I'm just barely over 18 myself. Just fresh out the box. And I have been told by a few people that you guys are very excited about this event. You're young and excited.
Absolutely.
I pulled into town 2 days later than I should have gotten here.
Yeah.
And
2 days later?
2 days
Wait,
later.
when did you show up?
I got here Monday night. Monday
so you were planning on coming a little bit early.
I was planning on coming Saturday, but being 18, my graduation ceremony got postponed because Colorado's.
Wait, you just graduated high school?
Just graduated. Yep.
And you showed up to Gone 2 days later?
Yeah. Yeah.
Living the dream right there.
Freaking winning.
It was a stressful process, but I am glad I am here.
That's pretty cool.
I did ignition coils and spark plugs in my
driveway. Oh, you were the one with the
driveway.
misfire, huh?
Yep, I was the one with the bad misfire.
This kid was scaring me that he
I
wasn't
was
coming.
I was on 4 cylinders for a
That's
while,
right.
and everyone was telling me,
I saw your post on Facebook.
Everyone was saying, "Oh, go drive to Boulder Nissan." It's like I'm not driving 50 miles with 4 cylinders. I'll blow some up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what did it end up being? You know?
It was ignition coils. Yeah. Spark plugs were totally fine. That wasn't the issue. But I ended up doing them anyways, which is fine because I got 177,000 on my truck.
Might as well, right?
Did it in the driveway in 2 hours. Picked up Duncan a power steering pump and was on the road.
That's right. Yeah. Duncan, I was going to get to that, but thanks for the free segue there, sir.
Free segue.
Duncan, what happened with the power steering pump? Basically, you changed everything on your truck in the last 6 months. So why not do a power steering pump?
So I'm going to blame Bill Irish for this, but
I like where this is going. Can I hand you a shovel? Go on.
Well, I was originally planning on doing a cheap Titan swap, and he kind of talked me into doing the drop bracket Titan swap, and I did the kind of while I was at it, might as well sort of thing. And about December, I was on Smiley Rock, got hung up on my lower control arm.
Wait, you were on what?
Smiley Rock. It's a trail in Arizona. There's kind of a boulder field in the creek, and then there's an easier trail on the right-hand side of it. You kind of cross back and forth.
Did you go on the easy trail?
Oh, of course not.
I didn't think so. So go on.
With 35s, I thought I'd give it a shot, and ended up blowing both seals out of my power steering rack. And for about 2 months, I was filling it up every single day with stop leak. And so when I
wait a second, let's back up.
Yeah.
How much money did you spend on stop leak?
Stop leak and power steering fluid.
I went through
how long?
I went through 2 bottles of it from O'Reilly's.
Like quart bottles?
Yeah, quart bottles.
Okay.
And
of stop leak?
It's ATF stop leak, so automatic transmission.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used that, and when I did my
did the stop leak work?
It worked for a while, and then I went wheeling again, and it didn't work.
Okay, all right.
You go wheeling without fixing the issue? Brilliant.
Of course.
I love it.
Yeah, but replacing my power steering rack when I was doing my whole drop bracket Titan swap ordeal, and I didn't replace the power steering pump. And when I got it back from the shop, they're like, "Yeah, your power steering pump's whining a little bit." I get to Moab, and then we're trying to go down some drops and stuff, and I'm just muscling the wheel over with 2 hands.
Sorry,
anything. So
there's bugs flying around us.
Sorry. I heard a noise outside, and I'm sending my car jeep out to make sure that nobody's messing with my truck. Car jeep, check my truck. Sorry, I didn't mean to dig in on you, but I get very scared out here because there's a lot of people running around.
There's some scary pranksters.
There's a big target on my truck.
I
wouldn't be surprised if you effed with it on the way in.
This is the first time my truck's been outside of the garage.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I'm going to do anything, but I've been keeping an eye
on outside of the garage right now.
Team Blues.
Me and Duncan got someone was waiting for us because we made it out of there with 6 magnets, and there is a 1.5 foot long dick sticker on my front quarter panel.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, it says I came to GONEmoab.
You know what's funny, Logan? I had a very similar sticker like that on my truck last year.
Oh.
And it seems to be a weird theme.
Gee, I wonder who could have done it.
Who was on the trail with you that day?
You know what? It was top of the world, and it was just this weird silver first gen that sounded like it was going to explode. I think it's still on the road, though.
I think I might have seen one like that on
Yeah. You know what? I saw the guy just today, a minute ago.
Just a minute ago.
It looks a second ago. A second ago again.
Oh, look.
A second ago.
Not naming names, but he's right in front of us right now.
So you got wieners on your car.
Yep.
That's no good.
That's no wiener.
Car
not
jeeps
wieners.
cackle, dude.
Well,
singular. We'll
you
see.
Don't know that.
We'll see how the end of the week goes.
It's 1.5 foot. Sounds like they upped their game.
I call it wieners.
They upped their game, but wow, what poor execution. There's bubbles all inside of it, man. They didn't take any time.
Good thought, poor execution.
Texture.
Like,
gives it character. Ribbed for pleasure.
If you have a bubbly wiener, you should see a doctor.
Immediately.
Consult your doctor.
So do you guys have something planned for other people? You guys have something in the bag?
May or may not.
Because, I mean, you know what? This isn't going to air for
I
probably
don't think so. I don't think we should say.
We don't have it yet.
Well, I'm not saying you should say. I'm just saying, are you guys prepared for this week?
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys come prepared?
I was thinking about coming with some pranks, but I completely got lost in the fact of trying to make sure everything was mint on my truck before we even...
We've done a few things.
So,
amateur.
You're talking to an 18 and a 19-year-old, of course.
We'll pull some tricks out of our sleeve. We'll make
something happen.
That's all we're gonna say.
I gotta say, you gotta give it the old college try, because you're gonna be giving it the old college try here.
We're both college age, so that makes sense.
What is the next step for your life now that you're young? You're young, dumb, and full of gear oil.
My next step is I'm heading to Oklahoma in 2 weeks after I get back from Gone. I am going to Oklahoma to finish a welding school program out there.
Do you know what they do to people in Oklahoma? Young boys?
I've been there before, I know.
Oh, well, okay then.
He knows now experience. Now he's got all the experience in the world.
Give me back for some more.
But yeah, I'll be doing a welding school. I'm going to get really good with TIG. And my end game, off-road shop. Do all sorts of off-road fab, custom stuff. That's my end game,
Good for you, man. Good for you.
I'll make it my welding bitch.
You're going to be working at my welding shop, so...
We'll solid axle my Xterra one day, once I roll it or something.
We're going to do both of them.
Yeah. We're going to shove to the GONEmoab like 10 years in advance. We're going to be solid axle swap.
I love this because...
The ambition.
Ambition is there.
The ambition's there.
You guys still have it.
No,
that's what I miss. I miss still having it.
Well,
like the future's in front of you.
I thought you were 18.
Me.
I am 18.
He's a wrong guy.
Oh, I was talking to you guys.
Him,
I'm barely over. I'm like 19.
Barely legal.
I'm 19. No, I'm 21 and a half.
21 and a half.
That's why I have beers. Anyway, so you guys have big plans in life.
Big plans, truck-wise, for sure.
Absolutely.
What are you guys running tomorrow?
We're doing 7 mile.
7 mile.
I imagine you guys are basically like in a bromance.
That is the correct.
That is the proper stereotype going on right now. Apparently, yep. Our pictures are all over Facebook.
You guys are listen.
We go everywhere.
Car Jeep and I drive a car from the driver's seat together. There's nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned bromance. Okay? We've made that very clear in the podcast tonight.
Yeah.
Sorry. Chris Meisner just rolled in, looked at us, shake his head, and just
something happened
was
outside.
at a loss for words, I think.
Yeah.
Something happened outside.
We're working. What are you working on?
Car Jeep's whispering to the podcast. I don't know how that works.
Why don't you ask?
Right,
You're part of the podcast. You're my co-host.
This is just like a regular interview question. Like, what are you guys driving?
Okay.
Well, second gens.
You already said.
Well, no, second gens, but you
Hold
never
on.
said what.
He said you
White sticker bombed Xterra, the only one of its kind. You can't mess it up.
Okay.
I've seen many.
Duncan, describe your truck. He already said.
So I have a gray drop bracket, Titan swapped Xterra, 410 gears, locker in the back, bead locks. They're Walker Evans.
Well, shit. Let me run through my parts list real quick too. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Nobody cares.
Sweet. So
whatever the previous owner did, right?
So you guys,
right?
You guys obviously compare the lengths of your shocks to each other. Right now, Duncan's winning by a little bit, I think.
Quite a bit.
Purely because of the drop bracket.
Quite a bit because, you know.
Well, are you
Daddy's
drop bracket?
money runs out eventually.
That is not Daddy's money. That's called working my butt off.
At Verizon, man.
Dude, I'm making I was making
Hey,
bank at
hold on, hold
Verizon.
Duncan Mills Parts Puller sourced me a steering rack and had it shipped to me
let's do some plugs real quick.
within a few days. And I will say the steering rack has performed flawlessly, though I hate putting steering racks in because it's unless you have a drop racket, but it's a total pain in the ball hairs. And doing it by yourself is even more a pain. And listen,
it took probably 6 guys for us to use power steering pump.
Listen. You guys are young and stupid still, and you haven't got married and had kids and stopped talking to each other for like long periods of time. So I want you guys to look at each other in the eye, okay? And
what is going on here? Is this the engagement that Marcus
No.
is talking about?
No.
What is this?
No, bro.
What is this? I'm not ready.
bro. I'm gonna do like a reminiscent thing, and I want you guys to be like, and remember that this is never gonna happen again. You're just gonna be older and lamer next year.
And grumpy.
Every year
only
gonna be
older we
more
can
lame and more old. This is your prime, dude. You guys are in the prime. GONEmoab.
I'm gonna go out and make a statement.
Doing all kinds of stupid shit you probably shouldn't have done in the first place.
I'm gonna make a statement. I believe I'm the youngest driver here at this event this year.
And that's why I brought him along, so he could get all the shit, not me.
Yep, that's why I got a dick on my quarter panel.
Yes. You know, I was peer pressuring him the whole time, like, you gotta go,
I will
gotta
say,
go.
you guys seem to be solid bros. How do you know each other? Are you guys just forum bros that decided to start turning wrenches?
I was following the Nissan Off-Road Instagram page, and I came across his truck, and I went on his profile, and high school mountain biking is becoming a sanctioned sport. And I saw that he raced in that division.
Raced in the Arizona League, yeah.
Gotcha.
I saw that he raced in NICA. I saw he had, working on Xterra. I had just gotten mine, so I was really,
he was a noob.
Really new into the whole Nissan thing. I didn't know that Nissans were anything. I didn't know there was an aftermarket, thing for him.
Right.
And so I DM'd him, and, we started talking and stuff, and then...
For you old podcast listeners, a DM is a direct message.
Or a PM, depending what you're using.
Yeah, depending on what type of, if you're on Snappy Chat or Facebooks.
The face chats or the snapbacks.
Anyhow, go on, sir. There's just some older listeners.
There's
need
some
to get
older
the
listeners.
young
This
person
kid slid
lingo.
into my DMs.
Of course.
This kid slid into my DMs.
No, don't say that. That's bad. That's bad. Don't say that. Anyway,
that'll get me in trouble later.
Started talking to Duncan on Instagram. About a year and a half goes by, and we're calling each other about parts. I ended up buying his old bumper.
I drove down to Phoenix for that on 313s and 35s.
Doesn't matter.
Where do you? Freaking awesome.
I shipped it.
Where
for
do you
free.
live?
I live in Denver, Colorado.
Okay, you're in.
I'm
where?
in Prescott, Arizona.
Prescott?
It's about 90 miles north of Phoenix.
Okay, so how far of a drive is it between you two?
12 hours, 12 and a half.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I know it was at least 6 hours, 50 minutes to get here. So
how excited were you guys to be in each other's presence?
I was. So,
oh man, when I first set my eyes on
and
him,
I want to make this clear that I know you. Karjeep just lost his shit.
Karjeep is on the ground. No, but I mean, this is an experience that a lot of people that are listening probably realize. They see all these trucks on the internet and never see them in person. And seeing the driver in person and seeing the truck in person it's very new. It's a different thing.
My day that day was a roller coaster of emotions. I was doing, just to say the least, I was doing Hidden Canyon Overlook, and with Dave Lyons, and I get to the gas station, he calls me, and he's like, I'm sorry, bro, I'm not going to make it. I'm super bummed. My truck's misfiring really bad. And we go on the trail, and I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah, all right, this is going to be me being the youngest guy.
Yeah,
and,
shit
you
was
can't
very
really
broken.
You can't really relate to some of the older folks. Not in offense, but
I get it. I get it,
age
dude.
gap.
I get it. I mean, we're all youngsters here.
We're all young now.
Once
we're here.
So we get to lunch on the trail, and he sends me a Snapchat. He's like, I'm heading to Moab. I'm heading to Moab, and then I call him, and I'm jumping up and down.
Your eyes lit up like light bulbs, right?
Like light bulbs.
What did I say?
I'm stoked. He's like, I'm going to Moab. I'll see you in a couple hours. And by the time we got back into town, he rolls up on us Zach's Pizza. We rolls up on Zach's. And
I left at probably 1 o'clock and rolled in at 6:30. I was making good time. I was making really good time. Rolled in and I had to make a U-turn. And I was at the light to turn left to get into Zach's. And I just saw this real short-haired guy with a beard. And I was like, that is Duncan Mills. That's the kid I've been following on Instagram
I'm
for
not
2
sure.
years.
I hopped on his sliders.
How much you realize right now? This is really just the most golden.
It's setting a bad image for us.
It really is.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
You know,
we're all
you have to
accepting
admire
it.
it. You have to.
Let's cut this conversation short for a minute because Joey Parent just came back in, and I want to let you guys know. These two guys met because they're Nissan mountain bikers, and I want to let you guys know that you are basically in the presence of mountain biking glory right now.
Oh,
are you familiar with Joey Parent?
Yes, very.
And his escapades in the mountain biking world?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I was going to drop a bombshell on you, but apparently you guys are wise and.
It's hard to drop a bombshell on me. I've done national races. I've done world championships.
So you know
I've been
how boss Joey is.
Yeah, I've been around.
Okay, so
been around the scene.
I thought I was going to drop a bomb right there, and
I saw his bike in the garage, and I was like, "Oh, we have to ride," you know.
I mean,
and Sean Trutman has a bike too. So.
You can't live in Colorado and not understand the biking scene. I mean, Colorado is the Mecca.
That's one of the big reasons. So this GONEmoab is actually kind of a big turning point in my life. I'm leaving Prescott, Arizona, moving out kind of from the parents' wing, and I'm getting a new place.
Are you and Logan moving in together?
Nope.
No, we're not.
we haven't stepped in. I didn't know when that was happening. I was just wanted to see if that was the next step.
He's about 30 minutes.
I'm going to be
south
30 minutes from him for a week and a half, and that's it.
Man.
Yeah, but I'm moving.
Well, you know what? That week and a half is going to be amazing.
Be prepared for pictures.
It's going to be amazing.
They're going to come out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
I screwed myself.
You guys, you know what?
Screwed myself.
Embrace it, dude. Embrace it. You know what?
Might as well just send it.
There's nothing wrong with bromance, dude. I don't know if you noticed, but my buddy Car Jeep just gave me a back rub, and
did your legs start jumping?
We're not gay, and my leg didn't start jumping, and
it wasn't a good enough back rub.
You know what? We're still bros, and he takes care of me, and I take care of him.
Yeah. Well, I can only do so much for so long before I gotta leave town.
All right, guys.
But I literally
this is taking a turn for the worse. Let's get back on track. What are you running tomorrow?
7 miles.
7 Mile Gulch.
7 mile
rim. Sorry,
rim job, not the Gulch job. that was the other day.
The Gulch job.
The Gulch job. That was the other day. Tomorrow's the rim. Are you going to do Wipeout Hill?
I most likely won't do it. I am open front and rear. Definitely won't.
It's rough for a stick. You shouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's rough for a stick.
Wipeout?
I'm really tempted to roll up to it, take a look at it. I know my truck's really high, so being kind of tippy, I might back down from it just because I have to drive my truck down the hill to Colorado.
Who's leading the trail tomorrow?
Who is leading the trail?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look at my
Anybody
little name
can
badge.
fall down a hill, right?
Yeah.
But when you go back up, stay left.
Stay left.
Left. Hug the tree.
I've seen the underside of Joey's truck too many times, and we had a good time on that trail.
I three-wheeled on Waybow Hill.
That was almost two-wheeled.
You have a pretty tall truck like mine too.
Yeah.
I won't make it. No way.
Really sketchy. That's probably the closest. Well, between you and Jody, that was probably the closest I've seen some flips.
I mean, did anyone see pictures of Alex's truck the other day?
Yeah, that was Joey. That was Joey on Wipeout.
Let's just take a moment and admire.
That was Wipeout when I was there. I was leading it, right? Wipeout when you got freaking.
Yeah, Ron Reese was.
Yeah. You got
I did the
skyball, dude.
And then the suspension
bob.
Yeah, it was the up where it doesn't start coming down a little bit. It was like.
Did the extra flow?
Yeah.
The moment where your pants get soiled.
Mm-hmm.
So Zach did that the other day. We were on area BFE, and we were going up this obstacle. Kara did great on it. I gave it a try, but the open diff on the M205 wasn't quite working. I didn't want to break a CV, but
you just didn't send it.
Well, here we go.
Zach gives it a try, and his front tire was at least 3-4 feet in the air.
I was looking at that. I want to call Zach out on the podcast because looking at that picture, I feel like Zach was a little off the line. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the line.
Zach,
Kara
you were off.
Amy in the Forerunner went up that line, same one, and made it.
Once she hit the top, though, I heard a big pop.
Oh yeah, no,
we heard a big
I don't
pop
know
from
how
something.
her CV didn't break because oh man,
she came down on it after the very
from
top
being like
her front,
2 feet in the air,
her
and then
front
just straight down
with the wheels spinning, and we heard a pop.
It was loud. It was really loud. I don't know how they're not broken down because I have no idea what that noise
And the
was.
weirdest thing was we heard like a clicka for the first couple rotations.
Clicka.
And then it just stopped.
Yeah,
so it's super odd.
It was good to go.
Toyotas are kind of weird. They heal themselves in a way.
Hey, I'd love to have that.
Adam France, right?
Adam France.
Yeah. He was on our trail today. Yeah, they make different noise. It's weird because we had a obstacle where a lot of trucks went up, not a problem whatsoever. And then the Toyota came, and it was just like that extra couple inches of wheelbase was just totally screwing them.
Yeah.
And
that's the one I
we had to yank them
mine
up. Cody, well, you were screwed up because your shock was blown, and every time you tried to climb something, you bouncing so much that you just lose traction immediately.
Yeah.
So we yanked a couple people up. It wasn't too sketchy, but his popped real hard. We're thinking maybe a hub or locker or something.
Yeah, that's my goal because I have broken
to break the CV.
No.
I brought him 4 spares.
I have 4.
Break them all then.
Yeah, I have 4.
That's what I told him. Yeah.
So might as well just send whatever we can, and if we break it, who cares?
Yeah.
But my goal was to not get pulled up anything because where the top bolt on my bumper mounts into the frame, that is actually cracked and is not actually fully secure right now. There's about a 0.5 centimeter crack where my bumper bolts to my frame, and I really don't feel like getting towed by it. I tried to weld it before I came out here, but with my truck breaking down and everything happening the way it did, I just didn't have time to weld it and fix it. So that's my goal, is to not need to get pulled out of anything.
I'm glad I got my ARB welded. Because I
welded your ARB to your frame?
I have, so the ARB has these 2 brackets that attach to the frame, and then there's 3 bolts on each side. Yep. Basically, 3 of those riv nuts on the inside of the frame either stripped or popped the welds. So I told my friend who's a really good welder, he built my tire carrier. I just told him to zap them
brackets on.
Welded the brackets to the frame so I can still take the bumper off, but I can hop down up and down on it, and it does not move.
We used it as a pretty good chair last night when we were doing your power steering pump.
Yeah,
it worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice place to put bolts and stuff.
Back to the power steering pump. One day I forgot to fill it up, so I was running on pretty much dry, and then that's when it started making this sound. So I didn't fix it before going to GONEmoab, thinking it'll be okay.
Yeah,
and then
you got all the other stuff done.
And this homie came in clutch, so he brought me a pump before O'Reilly's could, and we fixed it the next day and got it done. And now it's like 2-finger steering on the trail. So
there's nothing better than 2-finger steering. So.
2-finger steering and a nice eagle right in your face.
Just lick the nose, the beak.
Okay.
Yeah, I was literally on the road right next to the highway to get over here on Monday, and was just waiting for the response to say, "Oh yeah, go ahead and get a power steering pump." And went in, they had one in stock, and it was good to go.
Who helped you change that?
A lot of
big
people.
Shout out to Groot, Chris Meissner, Derek Metz for the big help. They just changed theirs a couple weeks before. They needed to get a whole reservoir from me, so I pulled them one, got them a fresh one from California. Yeah.
So we're all lucky. I love America. Karji put on the laughters. Karji just put on a freedom helmet.
Freedom mask.
It's a bald eagle mask, and he leaned down and I gave him a good old fashioned eagle kiss, as I call it.
Oh yeah.
And there's a picture of it. It's beautiful.
You have to embrace that freedom.
If you could post it on Facebook, the Nissan Nation Podcast Facebook, or maybe send it to me. I'll post it on there. And then
I'm sending it direct. You won't post that on there.
You won't.
Note that Car Jeep is now on the ground
He
from
has
laughter.
lost his. Car Jeep has officially lost his shit.
He's lost it.
Here, let me do the best.
And also, quote, he is still wearing a bandana around his
That's a
neck.
shamog, bro!
Never
Is
mind.
that something you Californians do?
No, dude, that's what us people that have been to war do, bro. Shamog, bro. I don't know if you know this, but I've been to war, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
You've seen some shit?
Kill anyone?
No, bro.
No.
No.
No doubt.
Smoke some ciggies. Ward it up. Got a bad case of athlete's foot. Dude, I basically died for you guys' freedom. Anyways, let's step up to the next situation. When he goes to Oklahoma City.
Oh no!
Oh no!
If you see a girl, why is the welding program in Oklahoma City? Why have you travel out there to learn how to weld?
It's called the Tulsa Welding School, and I have been in a welding program for 7 months now, but it doesn't go into like the serious things like knowing the schedule of the weld you're running, knowing the certain specifics of each electrode you're doing, anything like that.
Right.
It doesn't
It's a basic welding. Like here's how to melt metal with a stick and a battery.
Bada
bing, bada boom. Here's
exactly.
a MIG welder.
Like I could
Zap
weld.
and tat.
I could weld a bumper to a frame in 10 minutes, easy, and make it look pretty. But the thing about the school I'm going to is I'm going to be
it's like actually
exactly.
like.
And the next step after that is a CWI, which, for those of you that don't know, is a certified welding inspector, which is the boring part of the welding job.
Yeah, for sure.
Where you're just the guy that points and tells you to fix it. But yeah, that'll take me. The first part of the program will take me probably 5 months because I already have most of the prerequisites done because I know what I'm doing. Excuse the gap.
Classic burpees.
I got the can popped. Can's popped, dude.
I know.
The method doesn't work.
It's a great skill.
Hold on.
By the way,
hold on. Just chill for a second on here. I know you got some fresh snaps you want to.
I got a message from Marson.
Oh no! What is it saying?
It says, "Fuck Danny Fruiters."
Well,
you're fruity, Danny.
That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Marston's a child, and we won't chat about him on the podcast because he doesn't deserve our time.
Shots shooted.
Ooh, shots shot, dude.
Anyhow, Duncan.
Yes.
We started to touch on it gently, and now I want to touch on it hard. Duncan Mills parts puller.
Yeah.
On Facebook. Right?
Yep. Yeah, it's I changed it to Nissan Parts Puller. It's a little bit easier to find, but yeah, I had the big windshield banner on my truck. Shout out to Luke Pankow for making that for me. I really appreciate it.
Best lifestyle off road. If you don't know,
best decal. Not the best put on my windshield because it was windy that night, but
yeah. So, what do you do?
So it's kind of started out as, pulling a couple parts for a couple friends. Then it got so developed that
Verizon.
No, it started.
Hey! We're trying to plug a legitimate business, a legitimate entrepreneur.
You asked him what he did.
A legitimate entrepreneur here, sir. This guy is moving up in the world.
I weld for people. I'm an entrepreneur.
Anyways, started out pulling little parts here and there for people. I live up in kind of a area 2 hours north of Phoenix, so there's not very many people that go to the junkyards. And I went out there. There's multiple Xteras, completely untouched, and I hated seeing all those parts go to waste and get crunched in a couple weeks. So, I started pulling parts for people. I pulled a full wiring harness for Jacob Polinsky.
Sweet.
Got his rig back running again. and kind of ran from there.
Like I said, well, Nistec, you got him a power steering reservoir.
I got him
right?
a power steering
you
reservoir.
You got me a power steering rack. I'm sure you.
I got you really good pricing on that.
Killer price on that. Killer price on that.
I looked at the price for like a reman rack on eBay. It was at least a third of the price.
Oh yeah. So reman racks are like $500.
And what was the one I got you? It had like 13,000, 15,000
low
miles
mileage, nice and clean. Showed I will say the best part about it is like, it's a used rack, but I mean, it's low mileage or average mileage, but it showed up a couple days later, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. In my experience, I've found a lot of flakes in my life, and for you to be on time, killing it like that at your age, not to say that people your age are all like that, but there has been a tendency for me to experience. Oh, just did the beer perfect.
Oh, good job.
Good job. I still got it. I still got it, dude. I still got it. So anyway,
you learned the technique.
Back to the topic.
Yeah, so
I appreciate that, and I know Chris Meisner over at Nistec appreciates that when freaking coming through, getting stuff done. So I would like to officially plug you as Duncan Mills Nissan Parts Puller, and say that if you have a Nissan, basically
any used part, only thing I can't really get is fenders due to shipping. They tend to beat them up really well.
Yeah. I can understand that.
But any parts, no matter how big or small, large or not, I can get them shipped to you. I originally started pulling stuff, mostly first gens out in the yard. They mostly get older stuff.
Yeah.
Then I started taking trips down to Phoenix. I met some really good people down there, and
it's
some
obviously
bigger yards.
Like as available, right? Like some stuff's available, some stuff's not. Like
some stuff's available, some stuff's not. But if you say that it's hard to find, I'll find it for you.
Right. Sweet.
Bill Irish messaged me right before GONEmoab. He's working on some CV projects.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to disclose too much about that, but he needed Pathfinder V8 shafts.
Mm-hmm.
I found him at least 4 of, I want to say 12 in the country.
Jeez. Yeah, and I know those are super hard to find.
Hard to find. Pathfinder V8 shafts. Got them sent to him before GONEmoab. I think I just got them from Washington or something.
Cool.
But I mostly deal with...
like you deal with different salvage yards, basically. Nissan salvage yards, right?
Nissan salvage yards, yeah. So, again, I started with, like, first-gen stuff at my local yard, and then I started taking trips down to Phoenix. Gas mileage wasn't the best on my truck, obviously, so I met some people, got some things done. A little bit of
upcharge just for, travel costs.
Yeah, a little bit of upcharge. And the thing I found was that shipping was the killer thing,
Yeah, so shipping's rough. I mean, I think, in my opinion, this age of Amazon where you get free stuff, people forget that shipping costs a lot of money. And it's, it's frustrating because Amazon, it's free. It only cost me $4 or something like that.
And when you have
shipping is expensive.
Prime is $11 a month.
Yeah,
costs
exactly.
You $120 a year if you don't order anything. So everybody's chipping in and paying for the shipping.
Yeah. No, you're paying no matter what because you're either buying something or paying for shipping that you aren't actually using.
Mm-hmm.
So what I ended up doing is I found some places that have accounts with a UPS or FedEx or stuff. Brought my costs down a lot, which helps my customers a lot. I'm not really in it to make stacks on top of stacks of money. I'm on top of it to try and recycle as much as I can. I like recycling. I like helping people out. And for the people that aren't as experienced and don't know exactly what fits and what fits where and everything. That's how I do it. It kind of builds my knowledge with things. I try and help people out. Say, okay, this is the part you need. This is the specifics. Just today, I got a fuel filler neck for Drew Westfall, as well as the plate for the fuel pump as well.
Cool.
So
sweet. Yeah, and that's like the weird stuff that
the weird stuff that
to
no
try
one
and
knows
find
about.
it to get it coming, like, yeah, basically you're cutting out someone having to do a bunch of crazy research or spending way more than they probably should or whatever, right? I mean,
there's a difference between a 1 and a 1.5 gen with those, apparently.
You're providing a good service, dude. Like, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, and basically you provide a service and people pay you for it. And I don't have a problem paying over what you're paying. Like, there's nothing wrong with making a profit.
Profit's not a dirty word.
Profit is not
really
a dirty word.
You know,
like, I appreciate what you're doing, and I know a lot of people have been very happy with what you've been doing. So I want to say keep it up. And for those of you that listen, absolutely go over. You have a Facebook page.
I have a Facebook page. Just find me at Duncan Mills Nissan Parts Puller on Facebook. I have the big windshield banner on my truck. Shoot me a direct message. Yeah. That's the easiest way to get to me, and I'll respond back to you as soon as I can.
Within 10 minutes, he'll be responding. What do you need,
us
bro?
Millennials, you know.
Yeah.
Just because he's a young dude doesn't mean he ain't kicking ass and taking names over here. So don't write him off for any reason like that.
If you're in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, let me know. I'll weld you something.
Yeah, there you go, Logan.
You know, as Joey mentioned, profit's not a dirty word, but $5 here, $10 there, it really does help me. It all goes towards my truck. Honestly, I'm super, super thankful as to my previous customers. It's helped me get my truck done,
Sweet.
And from the small stuff to little clips and stuff to the big stuff as far as M205s, if you need an M205 with the correct ratio and splines and ribs and everything, let me know, because
Sweet.
every service helps, every part helps. So
yeah.
And thanks, Danny,
know
for
there's
shouting
always,
me out.
Always. Oh my gosh!
Car Jeep just dragged Logan back into the back. So
took him into the back.
Yeah,
took him to the bathroom.
You'll never see him again.
If you hear screams for help, just
Logan had big plans to be a welder.
Not anymore.
Those are over.
Sorry, bro.
We're gonna find him in the streets in Tijuana.
In his pickup.
Chicle?
In his pickup.
Animal.
What else do we got? Car?
You always ask me what animal am I gonna like?
Oh, what's your power animal this year?
You know what? This time I thought, just like last year and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that. So this time, I set my heart to it, and it's about to be. It's probably past Memorial Day, but you know what, dude, or guys, dudes and
Memorial
dudettes.
Day is coming up.
Memorial Day right now. It's about to come up. It's gonna be Monday.
Yeah, because I'm moving.
We gotta honor the fallen.
And I have a tradition. Every time I come out to Gone, I visit a small town, and they always have this memorial.
That's right. Last year we went to the memorial last year.
Last year we went, and we found these little girls. There must have been like 5, 4, 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I had no cash on me. I was like, dude, do you really want to get lemonade? And this was fruit punch, like out of fruit punch container, but they were selling it as lemonade, and we just went with the roll. And Danny or Gruters was like, "Where's your mom?" Oh, she went to get ice, But in the meantime, we're just asking them questions, and where's the money's going to? And the girls were like, every little girl had different idea where the money was going to go towards. One's like, "Oh, we're about to move cross country."
Didn't one say she was like for college or something like that?
Wait, I'm not
sorry.
there yet.
I didn't mean to kill you.
One was like, "We're going to move cross state. We're going to buy a new house, this and that." The other one was like, "Oh, it's for our college," and the other girl was like, "No, it's for my new shoes." And literally, it's not funny, guys. Literally, this girl had like flip flops were falling apart. I had no money, and I'm like, "Dude, do you have money?" And like Groot's like, "Yeah, I got a couple bucks." So we bought some lemonade.
Basically, Car Jeep stole lemonade, and I bought mine. America. So what's your power animal? Get to your
Well, we're not there yet. Well, anyways, all I'm saying is just remember our fallen and where we come from. And you know what? I kid you not. I was really thankful for everything I had. And then I went down to Saudi, and then I was really thankful. But lately I've been just watching a couple videos on Netflix and Amazon Video, and if you guys forget where you come from, just please watch some flicks.
What are we doing, dude? You gotta get to your point, bro.
Hey,
You're
I'm
right
sorry.
here. You went all the way over here.
It doesn't matter where I went
What animal are you?
Bottom line is,
animal.
just be thankful for what you have. But animal-wise,
You need to start like an Instagram quotes page or something
The
now.
year before that, I was a panda, which, you know what? Screw the fucking panda, dude.
Screw the panda, dude.
Screw the panda. The year after that, I was a damn fucking chameleon. Oh, you know what? The chameleon broke. Fuck the chameleon. But this year I have to say, America, dude. I'm
Fuck
thankful
yeah.
for the friends I have. You know, I might have a broken rig
Love
right
you,
now. It might take me a while to get it back up and running. But I'm thankful to have friends that, you know what, come over and I'll let you drive my truck. Literally, Grooters let me drove his truck today.
And you got scratches on.
Anyways, I'm Caleb from Off Road Gorilla. If you're looking for partner lights and whatnot, just hit him up, and he'll hook you up. Anyways, I'm kidding. Anyways, I've been able to go to truck to truck, and that's freedom. That's right there, literally freedom. I have the freedom to go any trucks I want to go to.
Some people don't get trucks. Some people are women, and they get beaten because they show their face. Stop being douchey.
What?
What was that, dude?
What?
You just went off like I took off like topic, but I don't know what you just said.
You guys both
Anyways,
went off the deep end.
what
Karji's
my
trying to
animal
say is every day
of
is
the
a
year.
gift. Every day is a gift.
That's what he was saying.
That's what he's trying to say. Every day is a gift.
Not the thing. What animal are you?
Now, what goddamn animal are you?
I'm the American bald eagle.
Yeah.
What does American bald eagle say, bro? Louder.
But no. That's a hawk, dude.
So what does American bald eagle
Let me
say?
hear you do a hawk, eagle. That's a little better.
That's pretty
good. That's a raptor, dude.
Whatever.
That's like a velociraptor.
But anyways, you guys
head,
know where I'm heading with this. Just be thankful for what we have, guys, and
the sixth time.
6 times, 7
Don't be
times.
disrespectful to
It doesn't
Karji.
matter,
I
man.
respect
It
you,
doesn't
bro.
matter,
I respect
Duncan. You know what? Just you know.
I'm thankful for you. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm thankful
You know
for
what?
you.
Respect
Thankful
for,
to meet you. I'm
for
thankful
current
to be here.
veterans, past veterans, and the ones that actually
Absolutely.
lost their lives.
Yeah, brother.
We have this tradition. I actually made this tradition with. I brought him into my tradition, where Grooters and I will go to a memorial site off. What highway is it?
I don't know, dude. It's
It doesn't matter what highway.
Cool. I have no idea
We'll
where
find
it is. We're gonna find it again.
You know, it's just by memory. But anyways, if you guys
Give
don't
it
do
a
anything,
moment of
just,
silence, man.
Exactly. Just give a moment of silence. Go visit your local cemetery and see who the fallen.
Your memorial. Thank a vet. Go find a Vietnam vet and thank him. That's a good thing to do.
I
Literally.
will quote, my grandpa is a Vietnam vet. Agent Orange got to him. So, yeah, thank a vet.
Yep.
You guys heard Logan straight up. You know, there's nothing more serious about that, and you guys wouldn't be able to off road or hit the track for if you guys do track racing or whatever it is you guys do. You wouldn't be able to enjoy it, love it, and live it if it wasn't for a fallen soldier, airman. Or soldier,
or
seaman.
It's not a dirty word.
It's funny as it sounds,
Different word.
You said semen.
So a sailor, I should say. But do your part. Just give a moment of silence. Thank for the fallen, and just be happy for what you guys have.
Nailed it, Karji.
Good job, boy.
I didn't forget, but I'm stoked because you just reminded me that we're gonna go do that. Stop by that memorial. I'm pumped on that.
Absolutely, man.
Because I always go by those. I always go by that picture.
Yeah.
Me and you broing out at the memorial. You guys should start something.
Which way are you guys going out of here? You leaving
We
south
go
or
to
north?
we go to California. So.
Oh, you're going north, yeah? Out of Moab?
Or do you
Yeah.
go? Did
No,
you
we
go through
to
Arizona?
South.
Oh, okay.
Did you go through Arizona?
No, we go through Vegas.
Right.
Vegas.
Well,
Basically,
yeah,
Vegas
you're
is
going
a
south.
15 or
Well,
70
To make this a little
You avoid the
positive,
big hole in
Anyhow.
the ground.
I'm about to invite Brittany,
north.
Mrs. Future
Brittany,
Studying.
Get
Come
out of
on
here.
over.
She's way better looking and
Oh
cooler
my!
than you.
You know what? If you're listening to this, she can outlift you. And I say, go
Carl's
hit the
not here,
gym.
so you have to
You
be.
sorry little pansies.
We just want to talk to you, Brittany. Brittany, just come over and here.
What was said about me
Don't-
when I got walked to the bathroom?
Don't
by
look at that.
Fergie?
I forget.
Brittany. Brittany is the brainchild of the poopy whitey tighties. Brittany,
Yeah.
when did you think to put chocolate frosting in tidy whities?
When she was doing Carl's laundry.
Oh!
Hey, you know what? You know what?
After a deadlift day.
Oh, that's what Carl
Maxed out.
gets
He maxed out
for
in
going to
every
sleep
definition.
early.
Dang. Where is he?
Sleeping?
Oh, man.
No, it's because I texted him earlier and he chose to go to sleep. But
We have
it's because Moab's the shit.
We have a 7:15 trail run.
so stoked to be here.
Moab will kill you in the morning. Just come out with the extra lives
Hey.
and you'll be straight.
No joke. It takes time off your life.
It does.
Like
That is
a
no
week
joke.
in Moab, dude. Like literally, you're in bed at 2 a.m. You're freaking waking up at 7 every day, and like scrambling to make sure you got lunch.
Hungover.
And
And you're riding,
yeah,
you're riding
Gas,
the mechanical
air down.
pool the whole day.
yeah, you ride it. Your freaking neck's yanking back and forth, bouncing all over rocks all day.
And
Depending
you're
on
in control too.
yeah,
You're in
depending
control.
on how gnarly you go, you might be stressing half the day about breaking something. And
And then in Carl's case, in my case, we're going to the gym after going on the trail.
oh, you guys are maniacs. If you don't know Carl and Brittany, they're basically extreme powerlifting champions of the world.
Now, if you guys are into powerlifting, wow, Brittany, where can we find you?
Yeah, Instagram.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram? That's
Just like
killer
beast
plug.
mode. I
Yeah,
kid you not.
Beast mode Brittany.
There you
Check
go.
out Beast mode Brittany. She's constantly snatching mad
No
weights.
snatches. No snatches.
Minimum, at least.
She's not snatching anything. She's
Deadlift,
deadlifting
benching,
and bench
and squat.
and squatties. And sometimes she posts cool. Hold on, let's look at your post. I'm gonna
Well, wait. Oh.
stop. And that was a dirty picture of Carl. She's squatting, shooting guns. Carl's truck. If y'all follow her, she's got a killer Instagram. Beast Mode Brittany. There you go. You're gonna get at least 3 more followers from that plug, right?
Maybe.
Duncan stole a cookie. Give me a cookie,
You stole
bro.
a cookie from the cookie jar.
Oh, bring the box, dude.
I don't know where it's at.
We ate
But
them all.
anyways, I got these Oreo cookies for me and Dan for the trip from Vegas to here, and
They're
and
patriotic.
eventually these cookies were so delicious I cannot leave them alone.
Something's
But
addicting about
they're
these
Oreo
bars.
cookies with like fireworks edition, with basically it's Pop Rocks. So no one was eating them right. I had to show Danny how to eat them. But you eat the frosting with the Pop Rocks little by little, and you just open your mouth and just hear them pop. But Danny was just like straight up munching on them. Like he had no,
They're
he had
so
no.
good.
They're so good. I gave some to Brittany, and she like, if what happened to your mind? It was mind blown,
It was-
literally.
Yep, mind popping.
Mind popping.
Oh, I'm in a cookie. I gotta take over.
Carl just passes the mic, and Danny's got half a cookie rammed down his face.
So
So
back
moist.
back to these Oreo cookies. So I get I get one pack. I get one pack.
Oreo cookies again?
Oreo cookies. So I get this one pack, and then my cousin gets another pack, and she's like, "You can have this pack," and she leaves like 3 cookies. And I'm like, Roots, have some of these awesome Oreo cookies. And he opens it up,
Anything
and he's
forever.
super butthurt because there's 3 cookies left in this brand new pack, supposedly.
I don't know how you talk about cookies for so long, man.
This is where you come in and talk about cookies.
I'm eating a cookie. I can eat a cookie for a little bit.
This is literally like part 3 of GONEmoab 2017.
Yeah, we got lots of parts. There's a lot of stuff going on here.
I'm excited.
This is going way far beyond our time.
We got the young blood in here. I'm not gonna lie. I'm super pumped you guys showed up in time for this because you guys are literally the young bloods. You guys are coming in.
This is all Duncan. It was his idea.
You know what? If you guys are just 17, 18, you know what? Just coming out next year and just.
Gotta be 18 to run, though.
Don't find these characters on Facebook, PM them, and just start learning, and then freaking show up.
Logan, what's your last name, Logan?
Turner.
Find Logan Turner and Duncan Mills.
Yeah, and just just drive out.
Bombard him with questions.
More than happy to help.
They're happy to help in all different kinds of ways.
If they can't help you out,
including your fenders.
If they can't help you out, just look me up on Instagram. car_Jeep. I used to be the original car Jeep, but I give it away, and some Indonesian girl or I don't know, someone. There's like 2 other people that like hit up my name, so now I'm officially car_Jeep. But if you hashtag car Jeep, you'll definitely find my truck, me, or something related to me. But
the most Instagram likes I have on my Xterra Performance Instagram is of Car Jeep's truck. All right, guys, a quick, sweet plug for Duncan Mills. His Instagram for you guys, so you guys can go follow him and his sweet truck, his builds, and you know what? Shoot him a PM if you want to get some sweet parts. What is your Instagram, Duncan?
It's Duncan Mills, and then on my buddy Logan Turner. What's yours, buddy?
Mine is Enduro_is_life because mountain biking background. That's all I need.
Enduro_is_life.
Yep, that's it.
Sweet.
I'm about to search him. I'm about to add him because I don't have him.
You should have added me a long time ago. I've been following you for a while.
Instagrammies?
I don't think so. I'm following you, but you aren't following me.
Oh, dude,
that's
I follow.
That's fail mode. That's fail mode. Anyways, if you guys aren't following any of us, just hit us up, and we'll definitely hit the follow back button.
Is there a follow back button?
Yeah, you just hit follow.
Button.
It's not a follow back button, but we'll follow back.
We'll follow back. Anyways,
Yeah.
you guys understood what I
Not to
meant.
get too technical.
Follow for follow.
We need a new
Follow for
Free
follow.
Goats Car Jeep Instagram.
Yes.
Hey, you know what, Chris?
Yes.
This stick has
If you
not
have-
been on this mic at all.
Wait,
if
if you just heard that breaking, Chris Meisner has officially been on the Nissan Nation podcast.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave, I told you. Eventually, we would make it happen. Hey, Chris.
What new products, just in the future, if you would have
No,
to
we
put
can't
out?
do that. Hold on.
Don't jump into that quick.
How
Slow, easy.
Oh, my goodness.
is GONEmoab for you? There it is, folks. There it is.
Chris Binder has been having a good time. Period.
He said good. You heard it here. Chris Miser said GONEmoab is good. Boom.
Boom.
That's all you got to know.
Unlike 2013, he's not in the head. Or, as you civilian guys say, the bathroom.
Oh, okay. I don't know where we're going with that. That's good. I'm glad you clarified that you were using military terms.
Navy terms.
I guess it's Navy
period.
terms for us.
Yes.
No, it's military terms.
No,
the head is always the head, dude.
My
Air
job
Force
wasn't
call it
throw
the
this
yeah.
morning.
Really?
I call it the head.
Scuttlebutt's the only
Hey,
scuttlebutt.
Never called anything a
Just
scuttlebutt.
want to take a moment to shout out Chris. He hooked us up on the trail.
Oh, Duncan Mills getting real soft on Chris right now.
All right.
Mills, I want you to lay your heart out right now.
All right, Chris did a big favor for us. Okay, so we had a Jeep Commander on the trail, right? And yeah, the Jeep broke down. Now, of all the Nissans, of course the Jeep breaks down. And Jeep Commander lost an alternator. The battery had 5 volts to it. So Chris comes in clutch. We see him down. We're on the top of a fin. We see him down at the very bottom. And I think, who was it that called him?
It was either
Marcin.
Marcin or the other guy. What was his name?
I want to say Marcin called him. And he's like, hey, we need an alternator, we need a battery. Chris ran back into town, got a battery and alternator.
Chris ran into
Chris
town
didn't
with
run at all. That kid's so
Chris drove back into town, got the alternator and the battery. $450 later, helped this guy out. We got it changed. We got back on the trail 2 hours later. We had a nice little lunch there, a little siesta. But
Ryan Miller was safety third.
Ryan Miller,
yeah,
dude, Ryan Miller was safety third. That was a blast. So we were coming up that thing, and I saw little tips of his little pilot sticks right there. But yeah, so big shout out to Chris Meissner. I love the community out here. I love how helpful we are. Big shout out to him and Chris Hefty. Helped us out a lot on the trail.
Yeah, they hooked you up.
Yeah, big time.
Well, you know what? That's how this Nissan community is. You know what? You scratch our back, we scratch yours. Chris is always out, willing to help. Chris, I want to get your take.
I know he's still here.
Chris, let's hear it.
What's your take on the Duncan and Logan show this year?
I missed most of the show so far.
Well, I know what it's all about. You had a good chance to turn a wrench with him a little bit.
He did. No, he did. He did. He did our power steering pump.
He helped us out. Yeah, when we were
Easy, what you say now?
We're a little bit burnt out. We're a little bit burnt out. We're a little bit confused. We got the power steering pump out. We just didn't know how to put it back
They
in.
finally got out of the chairs after smoking a cigar and his little stick over there. Here.
My little
vape life, dude. Vape
No,
life.
no, it was a real cigar.
Oh.
No, it was a real cigar. Yeah.
Cigar.
If anyone needs a cigar, I got a couple left.
Sweet. So the Duncan and Logan show started with a cigar, and would you say the Duncan and Logan show is a little bit more high octane than the standard show that you would see?
Yeah, absolutely.
These guys are high on life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All about mountain biking.
Young, dumb, and full of whatever you said.
Power steering fluid.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
That's what I saw. Well,
power steering fluid, coolant.
I know they are appreciative
dip
of
oil.
you, and I want to make sure that you get recognized for your help, because helping the Duncan and Logan show.
Oh yeah,
Chris. It's like taking this next step on top of the step.
Oh yeah, no, I spent many dollars at Nice Tech, so Chris gets to enjoy all the stuff that my truck got. So
good.
It is.
Well,
all
you know what?
good news.
So support those who support you. That's how it goes. And Gone and all these kinds of events and clubs and stuff. We help them out. They help us, and that's how we roll. Brittany, what are you getting Carl for Christmas this year?
I don't know. Oh, we're going on a cruise
Where?
to Montego Bay, Cozumel, and
Isn't that in
Jamaica.
Oh, nice.
Wanna take?
Are we done? Are we done?
Does Carl have a new bathing suit yet for that trip?
No.
Pink?
No, he wears
If-
Britney's.
Listen,
I'm
I'm getting there.
We
I'm
did,
getting there.
we did bring short shorts for this trip, but
Listen.
we haven't
No.
popped them out yet.
Listen, Brittany. If we before the trip, can we start a small Facebook group to get Carl a special outfit for this vacation?
Sure.
And we will all pitch in a couple dollars, and then you take a picture of him and share it with us. Because I'll pay a couple dollars to see
Wait, have you guys
Carl
blown up?
in a
Have you
very
guys blown up the couple
uncompromising.
yet?
I mean, you guys, he gave the Marty, and everybody
No.
wrote
The
up.
new Martin, new Marta.
Carl's not going to listen to this because
Holy cow, we're recording this?
he's gonna be like, oh, I should listen to this podcast. Wow. And then he'll be like, oh, what? I got to work on the thing. I got to go do. Oh. Yeah. David Boyd has he's got a real tough job, because basically I'm gonna send him about 2 hours with an audio file, and he's gonna have to put a show together.
2 hours. You're going
welcome,
on 3.
Dave, we love you.
What? Thanks for listening, and we are. What are we, Brittany?
We're out.
Out.
Oh.
See ya.
Yes, Car Jeep, we are recording this. Man, Danny, what? Jeez, dude, the Mills twins there or whatever, those guys just don't. Those are a ball of energy, man.
Mills and Turner, Duncan and Logan, man, they're balls of energy. They're young and dumb and full of cum, as they say.
That sounds
and I love every second of it, dude. They crack me up.
That sounds like a law firm, dude. Mills and Turner.
Oh yeah, Mills and Turner. We are crazy, and we'll get you out of anything,
or we'll get you in it.
Yeah. But as you can see, you know what, we were having a blast. Just sitting around a table, catching up, just having a few beers and having a laugh, and that's kind of every night in Moab.
Yeah.
Whether you're recording it or not, you're just sitting around having a laugh at what the last day was, or what the next day is going to be, or what you fixed the day before, and that's how it goes, man. Well, it was a blast.
Catching everybody kind of mid. Event is kind of nice too, because they're just starting to get it worn down. so yeah. you're getting a little sillier, and
oh yeah.
Well, man, I'm totally bummed that I missed that. If I could somehow go back in time and be there, because it's like I said on the last podcast, man, it's like all your best friends are out there, having a time of their life, and you're just stuck here, in these walls looking at you like, hey, there's no adventure.
Yeah. Left out.
Yep, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, Danny.
Oh, please. I don't even know how that fits. That's ridiculous.
I don't either, man. When in Rome, buddy. When in Rome.
Are we gonna got any more cliche things you gotta say? 2 bushes in the hand is worth a bird. Next. Bada big, bada boom. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Boyd out.
Yeah. That but dude, the stuff I've had to edit out of the show is, crazy. So people, this is going to be at least a 2-parter, if not a 3-parter, so.
Yeah, we got so much recording. So I would say let's keep it to a minimum, Dave, so that people can enjoy this. It's hilarious. And, just pretend you're out there sitting at a table, listening to this madness going on, and enjoy the recordings that we got. It's a lot of fun. Some of the audio is a little messed up because we had a speaker go out in the middle of, or a microphone go out in the middle of this stinking recording. But yeah, you know what? It's fun. We had a long chat about that, about the undies, the undies and the frosting prank. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that dude, I meant to bring that up. That was just funny as hell, man.
That and you know what, like. I think it's in that last recording where I talked about Car Jeep and the goats.
You need a.
Wow. There's all kinds of recordings going on.
There is, dude.
Yeah. So let's listen to what we got, and hopefully enjoy it. So if you like anything we're doing, please give our podcast a like. And go on Facebook and like our Facebook page, Nissan Nation Podcast. We're just doing this for you. It's not like we're making any money doing this. We spend a couple hours a week, or once a week, or twice a week, trying to do that for you. God, I can't even get through a decent friggin' plug here.
Sorry, man. You know the Dave and Danny show. I got to throw something stupid in there, and why not Oh Holy Night?
I know it's coming. That, and if you would buy something off Amazon by clicking on the link on our website, NissanNationPodcast.com, click the link for Amazon, and then buy whatever you want from Amazon, and we'll get a little tiny kickback, a few bucks to help with hosting fees or whatnot.
That's right, man. Batteries, whatever gets you going, sheep. Whatever.
If you have free goats, let us know.
Yeah, and speaking of goats, the Amazon thing, yeah, buy. Please help us out. We, shameless plugs there, but it does help kind of keep the lights on here. But other than that, Danny, before I let you go, man, Goats, free goats, dude. So I get a call. So I get back from my adventure, my 12-hour day, and I'd noticed I'd missed a bunch of calls on my phone, and normally if I don't recognize a number, I don't pick it up. But I figure if they leave me a voicemail, it's probably somewhat important. So
yeah.
I get home, it's dark, rainy. I crash on the bed and talking to Kelly for a minute, and I look, oh yeah, I got some voicemails, and it's the first one. Hi David, this is so and so. I'm if you'll just give me this number, and the whole message is like they don't explain what they called about. I'm like, well, what? Who's Billy Joe John? I don't know this guy. What's he? And at the very end, he's like, yeah, you can text me or call me about these free goats you got. And I'm like, okay. I instantly go, what did Danny do? But I carried on. There was another message, and I'm like, I'm a trooper now, and I'm like, hi, this is Tammy, and I'm inquiring about these goats you got, and if you just give me a call, we'd be glad to take these free goats from you. And I'm like, those mother effers, man. What did they do? And I see they were all California numbers, man. So,
dude.
So give us a little bit before we end up on this. Well, give us some background.
I think it's explained. I think it's explained in the podcast. So this is the gift that this is the prank that kept on giving. I believe it was in that first piece of podcast. If not, we'll throw it in the next one. You guys have to listen to the whole podcast to know about the goats. It was the prank. It was an epic. I think it was the best prank of the entire trip.
So are you gonna accept that you did this, or is that what you're saying?
That reprank was it was part me.
Reprank.
You were secondhand pranked, sir.
Aww.
But the original prank was the best prank, and I just want to know who it was because I want to send them a thank you card because I just kind of got to sit back and laugh my cheeks off for like 3 or 4 days straight. Well, Car Jeep got phone calls about free goats.
So Car Jeep had to set it up. Car Jeep kept getting these phone calls, and especially when you're in Moab, sometimes you're out of cell service. So
you come in service, and it would his phone would explode, man. I'm telling you, it would explode. He would have text, phone calls. I had no idea free goats were like the biggest thing since freaking sliced bread, dude. I'm telling you, it blew my mind how many people wanted free goats.
Well, I guess there's a lot. So after you guys did that to me, I thought there's got to be a little payback somehow. So I stewed on it for a couple hours, and I told Kelly that morning, I was like, I'm going to get them back somehow. And it was going to go to you, Danny. What I did was because that kind of a joke had Danny written all over it, And like Danny said, whoever come forward, please.
I wish I came up with it originally, man. That was a good one.
Yeah. So I placed an ad in the LA area for a free GT. Well, not a free GTR, but a
$1,000 GTR.
Yeah, $1,000 2015 GTR, and I posted this on our Facebook page when I did it. I didn't say I did it, but so Car Jeep, those 3 or 4 calls or however many you got. Then when you posted on your Facebook, okay, guys, this has got to stop. I felt so bad. But that was all me, Car Jeep, with Danny's home address on it, but it was an LA listing.
Well, he called me. He's like, bro, it's in Moore Park. He's like, it's in Moore Park, bro. It's got to be you. I was like, it wasn't me, man. I'm not going to say who it was, but it wasn't me. He's like, it was Moore Park. I know it's you. I was like, it wasn't me, man.
Well, I called him after I seen him post that, and I was like, dude, what did they do to you now? And he's like, man, something about a car. What's funny was I used, of course, with Craigslist, you can make it to where you can't see who the email address is.
Yeah.
So I got an email from Dan from the old Car Jeep of, hey, dude, I'll give you $50,000 for that car if you'll just email me back, because I know it was killing him.
Trying to snag you, dude.
Yeah, he was, man. So I, once again, very, very sad that I didn't get to be there, and we'll just end on this. So from everybody here at the Nissan Nation podcast, all my adventure buddies out there, our friends in the land of Oz, California, New York, the UK, Japan.
PA, all those characters from PA and the East Coast, thanks for coming to Moab, fellas. Will, Angel, Melissa, I know Brendan was a huge Cincinnati fan. Brendan Becker.
That's
I got
right.
to
Go
meet him
Bengals.
in the V8.
Go Bengals. But
Heck yeah.
From everybody that was on the podcast, I appreciate it, man. It's everybody. This is your podcast, and we can't do it without you and your listeners. And pizzas are coming, Australia. Just get ready. Get ready. Your dealership hopefully will be in the news, man. Local dealership receives pizza for no apparent reason.
Yeah. Last thing, Dave, is we have another show popping out next week. We're gonna have a twofer week. Well, we're gonna finish this show off tonight. Probably hop out. It'll probably pop out in a couple days once we get all these editing taken care of. But I wanted to let you know we got one more guy kind of popping on the show. Zebras. It's a cool cat out in the East Coast. He just built a drift car and he's been drifting his 300Z. I've been following him on YouTube. Cool cat, fun guy. And he's just in it. He's just living the life. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be popping out after this episode.
Breaking news there. And that's our Danny Groder is always breaking that news. And from everybody here at the Nissan Nation podcast, my name is David Boyd. And what are we, Danny?
We are out.
Peace, everybody. Love y'all.